Chapter 461 Ask Back. He weighing. I love you deeply, Sasuke. Minato's expression was very serious, which made Sasuke startled. At this moment, everyone was attracted by Minato and wanted to hear what Kiba could spit out of his mouth. My son Uzumaki Naruto should be as old as you. I am his father, and even if I died when he was born, I still love him very much. As fathers, we love him very much. My own child. Moreover, the peace that the first Hokage talked about, the village that the second Hokage talked about, and the family that the third Hokage talked about are all to serve everyone's emotions. That is, the life of a ninja, how to live. I don't know how to become a good ninja. All I know is that ninjas are also human beings. Humans have emotions. Everyone is born from their own father and mother, and they are all father and mother trying to protect them objects. They must have been loved from birth. Quote. Whether this love has passed over time or not, with or without your parents, you are the most precious children in the world. I love Naruto, and I love you. I love every child in the world. But I know that the one who loves you the most in this world must be your parents. You are different from Naruto. You have an older brother. I have always loved you, Sasuke. In fact, in your unfortunate life, you have also tasted countless happiness. Minato's speech made Sasuke moved. But still, expressionless. He just didn't answer Minato. Naruto's face came to his mind. That guy is indeed an unfortunate person, but Naruto, who didn't have everything from the beginning, actually didn't understand Sasuke's mood at all. When he lost Jiraiya, Naruto also experienced Sasuke's emotions for the first time. In the Battle of Pain, Hinata also let Naruto understand his emotions. It turns out that as long as there is enough strong emotion, and loss, anyone will be the same as the Uchiha family. Then, the four Hokage's answers are over. Young people of the Uchiha clan, which side do you finally decide to lean towards? Tobirama asked indifferently. Sasuke, on the other hand, stared at Tobirama with a hostile expression. How, do you still want to fight against Konoha village? If so, I will never let you go. Tobirama's words were very firm. Even with the two mountains Hyuga Neji and Senju Hashirama in front of him, he still had to unswervingly eradicate all those who threatened Konoha village. It's just that the words of the fourth generation broke through Sasuke's inner defense line. At this moment, although his face was indifferent, he couldn't say anything cruel. It seems that Minato's words have played a role. Your previous Hokages are indeed too cold. After all, Minato is a near-perfect ninja, not only has a strong strength, he is different from you, the four generations are the owners. He has a very gentle and delicate heart, even my teammate Jiraiya has always been amazed at him. Orochimaru laughed. Jiraiya. Now, where is Jiraiya? With him, Konoha village shouldn't worry too much. Hiruzen asked, while Orochimaru was taken aback. After a while, Orochimaru replied, Jiraiya is dead. During the investigation of Akatsuki's leader, Jiraiya was killed. Information about the enemy was brought back, and in the end, Naruto used the information to defeat the enemy. Orochimaru said this, and for a moment, it seemed that he had returned to Konoha village and was reporting a mission to Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, the third generation of Hokage. But, nothing can go back. Times will change and everything will flow. Time does not bypass anyone. Cage-level powerhouses who are based on the pinnacle of the ninja world. As the pattern of the Hokages just like this. A long time, Uchiha Sasuke finally came out of some emotion and said stubbornly. Tobirama frowned and said nothing. And Hashirama stretched out his hand and placed it on Tobirama's shoulder. Big brother. Tobirama was a little stunned. His slight movement just now was noticed by Hashirama beside him and stopped immediately. Tobirama, it's not your turn now, so don't be fooled. Hashirama finally took out some Hokage majesty and took 2 slow steps forward. Hokage's answer is not the answer of the ninja world. The Uchiha family is a special family, but the special family is not only the Uchiha family. The 3 later Hokages focused on telling you about the Uchiha family. It seems to be my fault. I should not. It took so long to tell the story of Uchiha Madara at the beginning. But what I actually want to say is that in this ninja world, there are countless people like me and Madara. Everyone has the same purpose, and they all want peace in this ninja world. If so, why not good? How to find a way to unite. Sasuke, even if you decide to destroy Konoha village, your purpose is for peace, right? Even if there are countless external wars, it is for my own internal peace. How many wars I fought when I was young, I can't understand this kind of thing best. And right now, isn't the most important thing to solve this 4th ninja war. I have already sensed. Hashirama narrowed his eyes and looked at Tobirama beside him. Tobirama also sighed and said, "Ah, very strong chakra. It seems that the enemy this time is very strong. It can be felt very far, but the power is very strong." Hashirama narrowed his eyes and said, "My perception ability is not as good as Tobirama's, but I can also vaguely feel that my Mokudan, wood-style chakra, in different places, blossoms and bears fruit. Speaking of which, your ability has also caused a lot of trouble in future generations." The first Hokage, Orochimaru's mouth twitched. "Uchiha Sasuke, we have already given all the answers to the questions you asked. Hurry up and say your choice. Are you going to fight against the enemy with us, or against us?" Tobirama said solemnly, already impatient to start. Sasuke, on the other hand, was indifferently silent, unmoved by Tobirama. After a long time, he said, "Orochimaru was the missing nin. But he is not from the Uchiha clan." Orochimaru on the side frowned slightly, with a helpless expression on his face. "Why is it so easy to get involved with me again?" Orochimaru has no words. Sasuke continued, "Konoha village's behavior towards the Uchiha family is unforgivable. From the standpoint of the Uchiha family, I can't be like Itachi and swallow it up." "So, you mean to destroy Konoha village? That's good. Then I'll do it." Tobirama bit Kiba and was about to start. Generation Hokage Hiraition is very fast. No one can beat it. Oops. Hashirama didn't have time to stop it, and shouted badly. But the next moment, a flash of yellow caught up with Tobirama's speed. He stood in front of Sasuke and stretched out his hand to block the second Hokage's attack. "Please stop, second generation Hokage-sama," Minato said righteously. "Fourth generation, what a quick blink," Tobirama murmured. Minato saw Tobirama withdraw his hand. He also stood up and turned away. "I have one more thing to say to Sasuke Uchiha before making the final decision." "What's the matter? Say something. Hold me like this every time. I can't stand it anymore," Tobirama complained. And Minato looked at Sasuke and said, "Sasuke, you asked us such a profound question, then, I would like to ask you a question instead." "What's the problem?" Sasuke asked indifferently. "Can you tell me, in your mind, what is Hokage? What is a shadow?" Chapter 462 Reconciliation. United Front. What is shadow? Sasuke fell into deep thought. This matter seems too far away from him. It looks so unfamiliar. The 4 Hokage are in front of him, but what is Hokage? He seems to have trouble judging. And, more difficult, is to define Hokage. Since you are curious about what kind of existence the Uchiha clan looks like in our Hokage's eyes, then I also want to know, in your eyes, how do you view Hokage? Minato's problem was fatal in an instant, just like his telekinesis. Even Tobirama fell silent for a moment. He also looked at Sasuke curiously, wanting to see what kind of definition Sasuke would give Hokage in the end. Sasuke was silent for a long time before speaking slowly. "Hokage, Hokage." "A long time," he said indifferently. "Hokage is just a name. I have no interest in Hokage, and it doesn't matter if I am peaceful or not, for me. People like Itachi deserve to be Hokage, but often like that people are buried, not even worthy of their lives in history." Those of you who survived those torrents are not worthy of being Hokage. To me, Hokage is not a guy who sacrificed his comrades righteously." Quote. Sasuke's words were bitter. Seeing that after talking for so long, he still failed to solve the most fundamental problem, and Neji finally couldn't stand it any longer. He sighed and stood up and said, "If that's the case, let me answer this question." Neji took a few steps forward, and the eyes of the audience were focused on Neji. Different times require different Hokages. The entanglement between the first-generation Hokage and Uchiha Madara created Konoha Village, because in those times of war, it was people who yearned for peace like them, and the times would progress. But the village was established without basic rules and regulations. If there is a system, it will become extremely chaotic, which also goes against the will of peace, so there is the second-generation Hokage who maintains the position of the village. And the third-generation Hokage is the Hokage who really loves Konoha Village. Because he does not consider other villages, only from the point of view of Konoha Village. It doesn't matter whether the Uchiha clan or other clans, as long as the village can be strong and not be invaded by other villages, it is the best choice. And in the era after that, all the shinobi villages are thinking about themselves. Sasuke, if you are the third generation, what would you do? If you think about the Uchiha family everywhere according to your ideas, then do you have to give up the rest of Konoha Village? All the clans. Should the Yamanaka clan die? Should the Nara clan die? What about the Akamichi clan? The Inuzuka clan? The Aburame clan? Or should the little-known clan die? Then the Uchiha clan deserve to die. Sasuke frowned. Should the Uzumaki clan be wiped out? Neji quickly countered. Should the innocent villagers of Konoha Village be killed by you now? Should everyone bear your wrath? Not to mention whether you can do it or not, even if you can do it, you can paralyze yourself like this. When Itachi casts demonic illusion on you, does he cast demonic illusion on himself? Neji's fatal Leonwan asks Sasuke down. Without waiting for Sasuke to answer, Neji continued indifferently. Madara didn't come for revenge for her younger brother at all. Madara just expected to become an enemy of the village today, and the Uchiha clan will not be satisfied with the status quo. One mountain cannot tolerate two tigers. Madara will either choose to die, or fight to the end. He can't be a submissive, that's what he deserves. To me it's not a tragedy at all. If Madara died at that time, it should have been beautiful. It's the wrong thing, the first Hokage. Neji looked at Hashirama. Are you really sure you killed Madara? I did kill him, that guy. Izanagi, through the transcribed seal, any spell can be applied to the eyes, and it can be activated under certain circumstances. Sasuke, when Itachi put the transcribed seal in your eyes, Amaterasu, when he saw a phase when the eyes will trigger. You should be able to understand that. Izanagi can change the outcome of death and sacrifice one eye to live, which is indeed what Madara will do. Quote. Neji's words shocked everyone. You mean, Madara didn't die that time? Hashirama was surprised. Neji only said, there are still many things you don't know, there are still many ninjas in the dark like Itachi. What Sasuke said is not unreasonable, the ninjas in the dark, and Hokage on the bright side, may have more burdens. Many things. After the Ninja World War, the second-generation Hokage also misunderstood the distribution of land resources and the distribution of tailed beasts. These issues left over from the distribution of the 5 major countries at the beginning, you have never paid attention to. The relationship has no connection at all, and the social relations with other countries are not well resolved, but they think that they should strengthen themselves enough that they dare not attack. During your time in power, Konoha Village had no allies at all, did it? Second-generation Hokage. Quote. Neji looked indifferent, and this time, Tobirama had nothing to say. Because, it is. Other than Neji had ever told him the truth like that. The second issue is Itachi, Hokage 3. You really should thank Itachi for being an excellent and great ninja. Anyone can do this well. But Itachi is not for Sasuke, he is for the village. Itachi after the impure world reincarnation, I saw him for the last time and sealed him. What? Especially Sasuke. Everyone looked at Neji in surprise. Neji said, it wasn't Sasuke that Itachi transplanted, but the village. Indeed, as a brother, Itachi gave almost everything to Sasuke. But what he did was the village. Itachi was a Konoha village ninja. And be proud. Quote. Uchiha Shisui's death made Itachi open Mangekyo Sharingan, but Shisui's eyes. One was taken by Danzo. It was Danzo who took Shisui's eyes. Shisui committed suicide by throwing himself in the river, leaving all the mystery to Itachi. Itachi finally he also held Shisui's other eye and completed the task brilliantly. I didn't expect it turned out to be like this. This moment, Hiruzen's hands trembled slightly. Sasuke, your brother is the Hokage that this era needs. So, what about the next era? You should not think about the definitions of Hokage I mentioned, but what kind of Hokage should be needed in the future era. Minato, who heard these answers, showed a relieved smile. I really hope my son Naruto has the same knowledge as you, Neji. The Hyuga clan, like the Uchiha clan, is also a cursed clan. But now that the grievances between the main clan and the split have been lifted, I have reconciled everyone's grievances with my own strength, and made everyone unite the front. Neji's words carried more weight in everyone's hearts. While listening, everyone couldn't help but think about a question: what was it that made this young man hone such a steely will? Neji added, now, it's time to reconcile the grievances between your Uchiha clan and the village. Only by reconciling the grievances can we unite the front and solve the problem. Whether it's Madara, the Uchiha clan, or Itachi, it's all the same. Chapter 463 Mystery. Former site of Uzushiogakure village. United front. Is it possible? Sasuke was wary. He was not defensive about Neji. Although Neji was no match for him, he was still very clear about Neji's character. It was just those Hokages, especially the second-generation Hokage Senju Tobirama, that really made him unconvinced. Neji said, the new era has a new era approach, Sasuke. In fact, you are facing the same situation as your brother Itachi. The same. Do you think Itachi doesn't want to choose an extreme route like you? He can fight against the village. Even if he dies, it won't be a pity. But Itachi gave you hope, just like Shisui gave the only hope left to him back then. Like him, the hope of the Uchiha clan still exists today, and it is in your hands. Now, you can choose to keep this hope and hand it over to the new Uchiha family in the future. Or it is with you, completely wipe out this hope. Itachi did not choose to do so, in a more difficult and painful situation than you. Itachi has not given up this inheritance. Are you sure you want to destroy the things that Itachi gave you? You can rest assured that it will be destroyed. You don't have to wait for Tobirama to take action. As long as you decide to take Konoha village as your enemy, I will immediately kill you. After Neji said that, his footsteps moved. Boom. There was a roar all around, and the gloomy chakra broke out all at once. In the air, a low tide surged, and it was indescribable what it felt like. It felt heavier than the tailed beast chakra. Sasuke frowned slightly, and was even a little breathless under the pressure. Neji continued, How do you choose? After a long time, Sasuke said, now that I am the only one left in the Uchiha clan, how can I pass it on? Neji's mouth twitched, and he explained, do you know how the Jinchuriki column power of the Kyuubi, Nine Tails people is passed down? Sasuke instantly understood Neji's intentions. He fell into serious thinking, and sure enough, it was the words of young people that made young people think the most, at least compared to Hokage. Neji was the most willing to think from his point of view. While Sasuke was thinking, Neji also said, now that young man from Akatsuki, don't you want to know who he is? Can use Sharingan, and know so much about the Uchiha family. I'll tell you one more thing. But if you know in this matter, you must be on the same side as us. Quote. What's the matter? Since you can ask, that proves that you have made a decision. Neji's Neji's mouth twitched. After a long time, Sasuke nodded lightly. Tell me, it is said that the real Uchiha Madara was reincarnation by impure world, so who is that guy? I don't know who it is, I only know one thing. That is, you have no doubt that Shisui and Itachi were called the two geniuses of the Uchiha clan at the time. Shisui did not have the ability to exterminate the clan, but does Itachi have the ability to exterminate the clan? Uchiha is the death of all members of the family, really the work of Itachi. Hee. Neji gave a weird smile. At that time, only Itachi noticed the existence of the mysterious man. And Itachi made a deal with him, that is, asking him to help Itachi to annihilate the whole family. Instead, Itachi worked for Akatsuki. Although Akatsuki did not make a move, but because of Itachi's existence, many S-rank missing nin came to join Akatsuki to play for Akatsuki. Of course, that includes Orochimaru. Also, you joined Akatsuki because of Itachi, right? Orochimaru, who was beside him, shook his shoulders and said, why do you mention me about everything? This feeling is really bad. Sasuke pondered deeply, and then he was deeply curious about the masked man. The end, Sasuke said, I can temporarily stand on a united front with you, but in the future, I will redefine Hokage. The future Hokage should never be what it is today. Someone has come to do this job for me, and it's too late for me to be happy. Neji smiled gratified. It seems that in the end, I still rely on my own shot, oh no, to solve Sasuke's problem. Not only Hokage of all dynasties, but Kabuto, Shigego, Suzuki, Karen, Orochimaru, who reached out, also saw Neji's power, not only his strength, but also his hidden mouth that was comparable to Naruto. Tobirama, Yoshi, then hurry to the battlefield. Fourth generation, you also know the technique of Hiraishin, you and I each bring one, and the four of us rush to the battlefield to support first. Minato, Hashirama, it's finally time to go and see what's going on. Hiruzen, the old man should be able to help too. Then please, Minato. Gradually into the night, the sun has completely disappeared, the war has come to an end, and the moonlight is also hanging in the sky. Orochimaru said, so, shall we go to the battlefield too? Neji. Everyone followed Orochimaru to look at Neji, since even Orochimaru obeyed Neji's arrangement, let alone others. This is also the reason why Neji is looking for opportunities to express himself. In addition to strength, of course, he must also have leadership skills. Otherwise, who would be willing to submit to you? And these people are very good players, so Neji's subduing them is also a big gain. Orochimaru, go with Sasuke's Eagle Squad. Now that the Snake Squad has spread its wings, why not bring your master? Sasuke. Neji quipped. Sasuke looked indifferent. It seems Sasuke is not happy. Orochimaru chuckled. Neji said, but this must be done by you. What's the matter? The battle in the desert battlefield should be almost over now. The people over there will be in danger to some extent. Go and see the situation. Oh, why must there be danger? The enemy they face is Uchiha Madara, Neji said lightly. Soon, Orochimaru and Sasuke began to act, and the Eagle Squad with the three of them started to act. However, it is the brand new Eagle Squad that is separated from Akatsuki's enemy. Kabuto, so, where are we going? Neji, same place as here, but different from here. Come with me. Neji had to admit that Karen and Kabuto were both in need, but brought Shueyu only because the guy was so enthusiastic, and there was really no excuse to get rid of him now. A distant wilderness, an endless wasteland. But in the wasteland, there are still overgrown weeds and occasionally trees. What the hell is this place? It looks deserted. Shueyu complained, and Kabuto was beside him, walking slowly. One of his eyes has been transplanted by Byakugan, so use Byakugan to search extensively. Shueyu on the side was quite surprised and muttered, so that's the case, this guy Kabuto also has Byakugan now, no wonder at that time, he could also see the death god that Orochimaru channeled like Sasuke and Neji. What is it? So mysterious. Kabuto murmured, apparently finding nothing. And Neji didn't even use Byakugan to check, because he knew it was useless, otherwise, his Byakugan would be 10 times better than Kabuto's. According to what Neji said, the chakra I can perceive is also very weak. It is indeed sealed by something. What is it? Karen walked in front of the crowd, sensing the weak chakra. Neji explained lightly, it is the country of the Uzumaki family, the former site of Uzushiogakure village in the country of Vortex. Chapter 464 Kamizuki. Person who solves puzzles. Old site of the Uzumaki clan. Shueyu was surprised. And this time, even Karen was stunned. Neji, you. Neji looked at Karen with a smile, reaching out and rubbing Karen's head. You are a descendant of the Uzumaki clan. In fact, there is no way to perceive the ruins here through chakra. You can perceive the feeling caused by the unique physique of the Uzumaki clan. However, it still depends on your intuition, because it was originally for preservation. There was a strong seal in that place. Neji said it was someone, but in fact, the seal was also placed by himself. So, more than 40 years later, as long as the place can be found, Neji can easily untie it. Karen let out a heavy sigh. The name of the Uzumaki family means a lot to her. Orphans who have no parents since childhood, because of the name of the Uzumaki family, they have suffered a lot. This Yuhi hair is the best proof. Since childhood, I have been in constant trouble because of this Yuhi hair. That's why Karen finally prefers to follow Orochimaru down a dangerous and exciting path. At least in this way, it can be protected by a powerful force. Although they will also be used to their powerful abilities, they are all close to ninja work, not those despised behaviors and bullying. So, Neji, what are you doing to find the old site of the Uzumaki clan? Karen is still trying to perceive, but is still curious about Neji's behavior. The rest, Karen can ignore Neji's position at all, but this time it is directly related to her Uzumaki clan. Of course she is very curious. To find someone to answer my questions, Neji explained. A few minutes ago, outside the shrine. The rest of the people were waiting in the shrine, and only Neji came out to watch Hokage leave. Huh. A yellow flash passed by, and the figures of the third and fourth Hokage disappeared. Tobarama's mouth twitched, and he smiled. This kid's instant technique is very fast, no wonder he became Hokage at such a young age. We can't lose either. Tobarama. Hashirama excitedly encouraged Tobarama. And Neji took the chance and asked the question he wanted to ask the most. Well, wait a minute, too. Oh, Hyuga Neji, do you have anything else to order? Hashirama asked. Neji said bluntly, actually, I still have something I want to ask you to help you clear this time. Do you want to ask us for something? Tobarama felt unbelievable. In his eyes, this Neji was almost omnipotent, so what else could he ask them for? Neji said, I have something to ask the first-generation head Hokage Senju Hashirama. I have a question and I hope you can answer me truthfully. Me, I'm the worst at lying, just ask if you have anything. Haha. Hashirama still admires Neji and doesn't care too much. And Neji, after thinking for a moment, asked bluntly, Hyuga Kamizuki, do you know this person? Tobarama was startled and said, Kamizuki. Isn't that Hyuga Tenen's master? I heard about it, but what I'm curious about is not Kamizuki's apprentice, but Hyuga Kamizuki. His true identity is. Hashirama frowned and didn't answer. Contrary, Tobarama said, Kamizuki is the elder of the Hyuga clan and the master of Tenin. Since you don't even know this, it seems that I am overthinking it. I'm afraid you don't even know the name of Tenin. Quote. Tobarama let out a sigh of relief, initially suspecting that Neji was the Hyuga Tenin of the past, but now it seems that this doubt can be dispelled. Neji narrowed his eyes and murmured in a low voice, what I want to ask is not the Hyuga Kamizuki at that time. What I want to ask is before the establishment of Konoha village, or at the beginning of the establishment, Hyuga Kamizuki of the Hyuga clan, what's the origin? It's the split, or the main clan. Neji's question silenced Tobirama. After a long time, Hashirama hesitated and said, I didn't expect you to ask this kind of question. To be honest, it's hard for me to answer. Because even I don't know anything about this guy. I know very little. Kamizuki of the Hyuga family. It was the great elder who returned to the clan after the village was built, and this great elder did not have a high status in the Hyuga clan. He seemed to be dealing with the Uzumaki clan frequently, so Mito was very fond of him at that time. By the way, quote, Hashirama thought of something, and said seriously, this guy's strength is also a mystery. Once even the old man was unable to get a good deal from him. Of course, this is just a discussion after the establishment of the village. But, I find it strange that since he has such strength, why is he so low-key? He was so low-key that he had never even heard of his name during the war. If the Hyuga clan was willing to use his power, maybe the strongest clan at that time was not the Senju clan and the Uchiha clan. Because of that guy's existence, the Hyuga clan has been regarded as the most powerful clan in Konoha village since that time. Is that so? I see, thank you. Neji nodded, lost in thought. Now, we have arrived at the former site of the Uzumaki clan. Neji is going to personally see this Hyuga Kamizuki. What kind of explanation can he give himself before these god masks? All in all, Neji wants to get a satisfactory answer. Gods, the Uzumaki clan, the spirit body of Tenon, the dossier. Why are these unrelated things being linked together bit by bit? There must be some connection, and in the original world of Hokage, these are there, but the final destination is not Hyuga Neji. Because of his own crossing, these hidden events were activated. Neji took over the point of failure, and must use some special means to uncover the mystery. Otherwise, these secrets may never be seen. I feel it. Karen closed his eyes, opened them suddenly, and looked at a place with joy. Then, she ran over without hesitation, at a very fast speed. Hey, wait, Karen, you bastard! Shueyu shouted while chasing after, while Neji hesitated for a moment, then slowly followed. Kabuto followed Neji honestly, acting as an invisible man as long as there was no need for him. Here, here! Karen shouted excitedly after completing the hardest thing in his perception career. Definitely right here, Neji, under the earth. It's like being sealed by something, but getting close to here feels strong. Well, it should be right. Neji didn't give any hints, but Karen could feel the ground, so it should be inseparable. And Neji also felt familiar here. At that time, Ino and Ino also found this place after searching for a while. The feeling at this time is no different from that at that time. So, the ruins of the Uzumaki clan are underground here? Shueyu asked suspiciously. Ah, that's right. So close, I can feel something unusual underneath, Kabuto said suddenly. Shueyu narrowed her eyes and said stubbornly, so, I also felt it. There should be someone. Okay, stop pretending. There's a strange force down here that's very quiet. There's absolutely no living people. Karen glanced at Shueyu with contempt, and ruthlessly exposed it. Chapter 465 Cave. Mystical Creatures. No. Shueyu jolted and took a step back. What's wrong with you guy? Karen is a little impatient, and sees Shueyu acting as a demon here all day long. Shueyu bit Kiba and said with a terrified face, since you said that there are no living people below, are the breaths that you feel are dead people? I don't want to go in. Seal release. Boom. The intense light covered the entire land in an instant. Ah. Shueyu was frightened and ran around. Kabuto and Karen were speechless. Bang. There was a loud noise, something exploded, and the smashed soil did not fly in the sky, but crushed and fell downward. Billows of smoke rose from a nearby cave, and everyone rushed over. Wait for me. Although Shueyu said that she didn't want to go, the neighborhood is even more weird. You must not be left here alone, right? Everyone walked dozens of meters and came to this weird cave. It was a circular pit that was blown out of thin air on the ground. It seemed that as long as you jumped in, it was as deep as bottomless. I found it. Neji smiled faintly. Back then, he walked into this cave with Ino and saw the deity of the evil god and the god of blood killing. It seems that this time, maybe he will be able to see more deities. But all this is unknown. Compared with the gods, what these god masks mean, and what the Uzumaki clan did back then, is what Neji is really curious about. Wait, Neji, this cave is so weird. I can feel something wrong down there through the cave. What's wrong? You are the coward. Don't go in. There must be no living people here, and you still don't believe my perception ability. Karen and Shueyu were bickering, but Neji jumped straight up. If you don't want to come down, just watch outside. Kabuto, come down with me. Immediately, Kabuto made a and jumped down after Neji without hesitation. Whew. There was a bottomless sound of breaking wind from below, and I didn't know where the two fell to the ground. Hey, the two of them won't die, right? Shueyu frowned, looking worried and helpless. Karen rolled his eyes at him and said, you don't have to scare yourself here. It's clear that in addition to the sealing technique, there is also some kind of enchantment. It is because of this enchantment that you feel strange on the opposite side. Go in and take a look. Anyway, with Neji here, what have you to worry about? But, who? Karen jumped straight and disappeared without a trace. Damn it, this damn woman, why is she so courageous? Shueyu regretted following along, but if she didn't go on now, the weirder atmosphere around her was even more frightening. Here is. In the deep cave, the dark lights lit up. But this time, instead of a warm dim yellow light, a strange blue fire lit up all around. Neji frowned slightly. He came with Ino before, and the torches around this passage were clearly normal, but he was a little worried, but Karen behind him said, these fires are made of chakras, but they are very different from ordinary chakras, as if they were mixed with impurities. So I can't feel these chakras, but now I can feel it. It is indeed the strange fire that chakra is burning. No, this is no ordinary chakra. Neji should feel it too. Kabuto said. Neji nodded leisurely and said, well, it's natural energy. Natural energy. Sage art chakra. Kabuto explained, but it's not sage art. Maybe it's another kind of sage art that we don't know Akatsuki, but it can also use natural energy. Unlike sage art, this kind of fire uses natural energy to burn and consume. Sage art is just transforming natural energy. Perhaps, this energy is more advanced than sage art. Quote. Looks like you're sharp, Kabuto. Neji's mouth twitched and he walked slowly forward. This is divine power. Divine power. Karen and Kabuto followed curiously, dispelling their original fear. Only Shueyu, who came in at the end, looked at the strange environment around her and couldn't help trembling all over. Don't be so fast. I'll go. Shueyu's cries traveled far, and for a while, she forgot that the environment here is very closed, and it spread far and wide towards a road in front of her that could hardly see the end. Go, go, go. The echo echoed in everyone's ears. Neji stopped, and Kabuto was also startled, frowning slightly. Kabuto said, could it be that something has appeared? I don't know, it feels very subtle. Karen couldn't feel anything, and Shueyu next to him ran up and muttered, what's the matter? This is. Idiot. Karen hit Shueyu's head with a hammer and said in a low voice, you already know it's so weird here, and you're still shouting so loudly, are you trying to kill us? I. Shueyu is stubborn, but this time, there seems to be no reason to argue. Boom. In the distance, there was a shocking sound of the ground collapsing. Ow. The huge howl sounded like an ancient giant wolf, and there seemed to be a pair of eyes staring at a few people in the darkness. Hi. Kabuto bit Kiba and murmured, what a horrible murderous look. I really want to feel this feeling somewhere. What are you talking about? Karen blinked, in a rare situation where she couldn't feel what Kabuto and Neji felt at all. Neji's mouth twitched, he stretched out his hand, and asked with a light smile, "You mean Raichi Cave?" "Yes." Boom. After that, a huge impact came in an instant. Like a torrent that has been ready to go for a long time, it sprints in an instant, with great strength. PFF'd. Neji's outstretched palm glowed with a faint blue light, and revolving heaven's chakra instantly formed a barrier and continued to block the entire narrow passage in front of him. The impact of the torrent is not small. The blue light, hitting on Neji's revolving heaven, is going on brightly. Zitza. Around, there was a high-speed vibration sound that made people tinnitus, and Karen and Suzuki covered their ears. "And Kabuto is a fast hand seal," while Hand Seal said, "This move seems to be a demonic illusion of voice. If it can also be conveyed through revolving heaven, it is no longer the scope of chakra." Senpo, Sage Art Inorganic Reincarnation. Bang. The next moment, the torrent doubled in size, shattering the stone walls near everyone. The narrow road that was only 3 meters wide suddenly turned into a huge road that was 7 meters wide. The stone walls were broken one after another, but the stone walls of the upper and lower caves began to bulge, like kiba teeth with grooves, but they could fit together. It was closed up and down, and all around was plunged into darkness. Boom. The giant torrent seemed to be trying to break the barrier, but Kabuto continued to seal with a serious look. "What the hell is this? I'll just say, there's something down here. And it's not the power of a living person." Shueyu's legs softened, and she couldn't help but startled. Karen reprimanded, "Look at your potential. This may be some kind of trap. Since it's what Neji is looking for, it's definitely not an ordinary person. Some protection measures should be taken." Kabuto breathed a sigh of relief, then suddenly noticed something. "Neji, something is coming." Boom. Ow. The shrill howl reappeared, and the sound of footsteps made the ground tremble with every step. It seems that Shueyu really got it right. Neji's mouth twitched, and there was a gleam in his eyes. Chapter 466 Alien. 7 Unlike. Crack. Kabuto manipulates the stones that fit up and down, slowly returning to their original positions. "Since I can manipulate the terrain here, it proves that we are in a natural environment. Now this strange atmosphere may be due to some kind of enchantment or prohibition. In any case, we have a way out." Kabuto analyzed. The arm guards around him were lifted, but Neji chuckled and took a step forward. "There's nothing to retreat. Before, it was just to cooperate with you, but this time it's my personal business, and it won't delay everyone. Too much time." Ow. Boom. Huge footsteps came towards this side step by step. Soon, it appeared in everyone's sight, separated by dozens of meters, still can see clearly. The 3-meter-high giant beast can also be seen clearly in the crypt at this moment. "What the hell is this?" Karen frowned, and a nauseating feeling came over him, something he had never seen before. "I saw that there was a head with antlers, but the neck and body looked like a giant python, and at the tail, there was a ponytail, and the soles of the feet were actually 3 feet with claws. And the feet are as big as duck's paws, and every step makes the ground sink deeply." 7 Dislikes. The legendary divine beast is said to be the last line of defense guarding the gate of the gathering place of gods. What? Everyone looked at Kabuto, who didn't expect him to know this. Kabuto said, "This is also what I got from the data of various countries, but I never thought that such a thing actually exists in this world." "Then what is he capable of?" Karen asked. Kabuto murmured in a low voice, "This guy can use his voice to create demonic illusion, has 7 types of chakra, and the breath in his body is a higher energy than chakra. Regardless of his size, he weighs several thousand tons, so both the attack power and the defense power are amazing. Now it's just that he's fighting in an environment that doesn't belong to him, and it will weaken to this point." Thousands of tons. Shueyu was so frightened that it liquefied. "This is no joke. Everyone, be careful, this thing is a legendary beast. Since it appeared, it proves that this place is worth studying. Kabuto stops the people behind him, intending to protect everyone. Neji glanced at Kabuto, and the corner of his mouth twitched. In fact, after negotiating with Kabuto before, Neji used the Eye of Shisui. Conjunction with Koto Amatsukumi's demonic illusion, Neji completely transformed Kabuto's character and thinking, but that's all. It still depends on how good Kabuto's own part of nature can be. Unexpectedly, in less than a day, Kabuto already has such a strong sense of protection and teamwork. I don't know whether to say that Shisui's eyes are good enough, or Kabuto's inner nature is good enough. Don't worry, no matter what it is, it's up to me to solve it. Neji turned his head. He had already noticed the last beast here. The ability contained in his body is a powerful divine power. This kind of thing can only be perfectly suppressed by Neji now, and Neji has enough reasons to show his unparalleled strength here. The future, whether it is Kabuto, Shueyu, and Karen, they will all be the right-hand men they need. Now, in such an unexplainable scene, it is the most crucial time for them to remember their own strength and leave a shadow, otherwise they will not be able to convince them. Myself, especially Kabuto. Neji knew that Kabuto was a professional spy, and it was very simple for him to pretend to surrender to himself. But Neji doesn't need that pretense. He wants absolute loyalty, even if it comes from fear of himself. Ow! Bang! Chi didn't open his mouth and spit out a huge fireball, which was booming towards Neji. Neji reached out, pulled the scabbard behind him, and the blade came out. PFF'd. Quickly, the flames dissipate. There is no trace left, and the very clear sound is endless. Neji, so handsome. Karen was fascinated by Neji's peerless face, and Shueyu was stunned. He said dumbly, "This is the trophy of sword dance. It is said that the person who can wield him is already a 1 in a million genius." After Neji got it, he didn't even practice, it was already. This kind of talent for swords, only a ninja like Shueyu who is also a swordsman can fully appreciate it. Compared with the talent of being a ninja, to have the talent to become a swordsman is a real genius. Swordsmanship pays more attention to practice and constant polishing, especially if there is no way for the sword and the person to be one. No matter how strong the talent is, it will be useless. However, such a legendary sword was completely mastered by Neji overnight, and he was able to handle it with ease. This strength is not without fear. This sword alone made Shueyu completely worship. There was only one very firm belief left in his heart, that no matter what happened in the future, he could not betray Neji. Will die. Ow! That Chi didn't seem to have lost his mind and was a little anxious when he saw that his attack had failed. Pacing non-stop, the rock walls shaking all around almost made people think that an earthquake had occurred. Damn, this guy really has thousands of tons. Just a few steps, there is such a big shock. Karen swayed, Hand-seal steadied his chakra, trying to stand still. Shueyu simply turned into a pool of water and collapsed to the ground, while Kabuto quickly hand-sealed. Doden, Earth-style, dirt road reverse. Boom. The surrounding stone walls shattered in a mess, gathered together, and protected the three of them. Isn't it? Kabuto is so protective of us. Karen narrowed his eyes and glanced sideways at Kabuto next to him. She couldn't help but wonder what trick Neji used to make Kabuto so obedient. You know, Orochimaru did not do this in those days. It seems that you are annoyed that you are forced to appear in this world, but it will be over soon. Maybe we will meet again in the future, but for now, let's stop there. Neji's mouth twitched, and after saying that, he manipulated the wine sword in his hand. Yuhi's light flashed on the blade of Sugarita's sword, and Neji's killing intent suddenly rose. Thorn. With a very clear sound, Neji leapt away like a flash, leaping to the top of the cave. Bang! Another fireball flew away, but Neji landed quickly again. Bang, bang, bang. Chi didn't attack in a hurry, but Neji skillfully avoided them, moving up and down like a flash. Soon, he arrived in front of Kibuki, holding the sword in both hands. Neji's mouth twitched, and Kibuki's eyes were rounded, and the eyes released a black-purple light. Kabuto yelled, "Oops, I suddenly remembered that the guy's eyes are said to be the eyes of a certain god, which can release the fog and trap all the purpose in the puzzle." Neji. Everyone was worried about Neji, but after the black and purple mist was released from Kibuki's eyes, Neji in front of him suddenly disappeared. It slowly turned its head to reveal that it didn't notice any of Neji's breath. But after a while, there was the sound of a sharp blade slashing. Huh. Neji's figure appeared behind Kibu's, and he steadily put the knife in the scabbard. Ooh. A huge whine, surprising and staggering. Neji, on the other hand, left his handsome back to everyone, and said leisurely, "This is Hiraishin's/" Chapter 467 Broken. Godhead Mask. Chi didn't fall to the ground heavily, unable to rest his eyes, stared at his huge eyes, turned his eyes and glanced at Neji. Then, his body began to emit fluorescent colors. Then it gradually became transparent, and it began to become light and gradually spread out, and it was like a starry sky around it. So beautiful. Karen couldn't help being attracted by this beauty. The water moon behind him gradually materialized, and he was also intoxicated with Kabuto. This is as beautiful as being in the night sky. At this moment, it seems to illuminate their inner heart of knowledge. Now, they are very eager to follow Neji into this place. I want to find out what kind of magical things are going on here. Everyone's heart can't help but have a hope and expectation. That is, there must be something other than themselves in this ninja world, which is fascinating. With Neji, and after a short distance, we came to the end. At the end is a long staircase, and at the end of the staircase is a huge disk of stone. Whether it is the stone or the stairs, they are all floating in the air, and there is even a complete fault in the middle. Below is a bottomless abyss, and the whole atmosphere is resentful and strange. Neji, what the hell is this? People are afraid. Karen wailed, pouted and had tears in his eyes. Shueyu, who was on the side, walked forward eagerly, and said with contempt, "If you're afraid, go quickly. Anyway, this kind of place is not a place for girls to come. And since you can't perceive anything, it's useless." Quote. Humph. You're useless. You're even more useless. Karen pouted, angrily. Okay, if you two quarrel again, be careful to provoke some divine beast again. Kabuto reminded in a low voice. Karen immediately covered her mouth, and now she was horrified when she recalled the 7 dislikes she saw just now. She's pretty sure that the unknown creature just now, if it wasn't for Neji, all 3 of them would have been wiped out in this place. This is. When they walked up to the disc, everyone was shocked. There is only a huge stone wall in front of it, and on the stone wall, there are 40 masks. Neatly arranged. This is the mask of the gods of the Uzumaki clan. This is very similar to what I saw in the shrine of the Uchiha clan before. Kabuto walked up curiously, and sure enough, he still had a very strong thirst for knowledge in his heart. Even if it is a big change in personality, the most important thing is the powerful and inexplicable attraction that these unknown things bring to him. These are the masks used by the Uzumaki family to channel the gods. Each mask represents a god and can be used for channeling. One of them was fake and was taken away. Neji said, stretched out his hand, and took off the upper one according to his memory. Everyone saw that the mask was exactly the same as the one Orochimaru used when he possessed the god of death. Neji threw the mask down and took another Reaper mask out of his clothes. When everyone saw that it was the mask from before, Neji hung it up. As if some conditions were triggered, bright white light appeared all around, but it was very strange. That white light covered the disc and covered all the masks. Everyone was vigilant, but seeing Neji's indifference, he was no longer afraid. After all, Neji is a person who has disappeared for 2 years, and Neji has never mentioned what happened in the past 2 years, so everyone has some conclusions in their hearts. That is, Neji must have experienced something that ordinary people never experience in the past 2 years. Matter. I have also seen unknown species like gods, which are all within the scope of imagination. Om. After a roar, it shattered. Crack. Several masks were shattered one after another, and everyone looked at them. I saw the top left mask, the 5th mask from left to right in the top row, the 6th mask, and the 2nd mask in the bottom row, a total of 4, all destroyed. The Reaper mask is the 5th in the 2nd row. The Grim Reaper mask was intact, and a total of 4 masks were broken. Neji narrowed his eyes slightly and muttered to himself, Evil God, Vulcan God, Blood-killing God. There are 3 Godhead masks in total, why are 4 broken? Why? Neji had a bad premonition in his heart, but just speculating that he couldn't get a complete answer to this kind of thing, and Neji stopped thinking about it. Okay, now, let's go to the real part. Neji let out a sigh of relief. This scene is just a scene he imagined, and what he really wants to do is naturally not to solve the mystery here many years later. If you can easily solve the mystery, then the power here is nothing to worry about. It is precisely because Neji can't control the situation here that the power here makes Neji so curious and want to know the answer. And, this is Neji's wild guess too, that's the guy. Maybe knows about this place. But at that time there was no chance for the two to meet, so many years later, today, it can be achieved. What are you going to do? Don't you want to see the person who solves the puzzle? Karen asked. Neji explained, the guy is dead and has been dead for many years. Dead? What? Dead? Neji, don't be scary. Shueyu hugged Karen's shoulders and backed away, ignoring Karen's contemptuous look. Neji said, what are you thinking? He's already dead, that's why I need Kabuto's presence. Orochimaru must not know about this matter in advance, otherwise, perhaps because of Orochimaru's character, he will preempt Neji to conduct research. Neji does not want such a thing to happen. So, it can only be done by Kabuto. Well. Neji reached out and pulled something out of his body. Ah. Then, a white Zetsu was pulled out. Neji glared at Byakugan, and white Zetsu lost all consciousness and passed out. Neji explained, I fought with Afe for a short time, and then I found out that this guy even left something like this on me to monitor my actions. But it doesn't matter, although there is only one, it is just enough. Thank you so much for that guy. Quote. Neji's mouth twitched, and he threw the white Zetsu in his hand to the ground. Kabuto immediately understood, nodded and said, it seems that Neji wants to revive the deceased person who solved the puzzle. It seems that the master is already a very virtuous senior. It's just that the condition of impure world reincarnation is not only to use living people as Matsuri products. Kabuto looked a little helpless. Neji's mouth twitched, and he took something out of his clothes. This is what Ino once gave Neji, a small cloth bag. I know, of course I'm ready, that guy's relic. Neji opened the cloth bag, and inside was a dark, charred rag. Well, this is the clothes that guy was wearing when he died. It should be able to do it, right? Neji handed the item to Kabuto, who nodded. Of course, but, didn't this senior die long? Why does Neji have this kind of thing? You'd better not ask about this kind of thing. Neji's face changed slightly, and everyone noticed the difference. Although they didn't know what happened, they all knew that something extraordinary must be happening in the dark. Chapter 468 Reminiscing. Each shocked. Everything's ready. Kabuto put the rag in place and cast the spell. The dirt gradually gathered, and white Zetsu was also somewhat restricted. The art of psychic impure world reincarnation. Everyone took a step back subconsciously, only Neji was still standing in front of the Matsuri product. He just wants to make sure that when this guy is resurrected, the first thing he sees is himself, because no one can guarantee what will happen. Neji also speculated for a long time before thinking of this matter, and from the beginning he led him to be interested in Hyuga Tenin. But Orochimaru, Black Zetsu, Afe must have done in-depth research on the Hyuga family, and even Kumogakure village has paid attention to the file. Even so, they are still superficially curious about the Hyuga Tenin. Even Neji discovered in that accidental crossing accident that Hyuga Tenin, who has been spreading his prestige, was actually himself, so Hyuga Tenin had almost no need for research. As Hyuga Neji, what you should be curious about is the identity of Hyuga Tenin, but Neji has another identity, that is, he is Hyuga Tenin. Hyuga Tenin is also a real guy. If he accidentally died at the hands of Kakuzu, and the rest of the things are done for him by himself, then the person who created the prestige of Hyuga Tenin in the future is worth studying. That is, Neji is the object of research by everyone, so what is the answer Neji wants to get? Hyuga Kamizuki, what is the origin of this mysterious guy? Who is he? And more importantly, what does he know? Why did you want to leave Hyuga Tenin's spirit body even if you were desperate at that time, and now that spirit body has saved Neji's life more than once? That kind of thing must contain a very shocking power. Sizzle. The dirty soil gathered together, and the people who were channeled gradually took on their original appearance. That old face, and the old kindness, made Neji recall countless past events all at once. Just a short distance away is the old friend who seems like yesterday but after more than 40 years. Hyuga Kamizuki. It's an old man. Shueyu hid behind Karen, but paid close attention to the ever-changing situation on the field. Karen narrowed her eyes and took a step back again. This time he felt the extraordinary chakra of the old man. Although the amount of chakra is not very large, it is special enough. Karen knows that the next thing is something that only Neji can solve. Kabuto also stopped talking and handed the scene to Neji. From now on, it's up to you, Neji-kun. Kabuto noticed that Karen and Shueyu were retreating far away, and also took a few steps back knowingly, because the place where Kamizuki and Neji were, happened to be wrapped in the faint white light emanating from the mask, and there was a strange atmosphere. Is this impure world reincarnation, the second Hokage's method? Kamizuki narrowed his eyes and seemed to have traveled for a long time. Normal impure world reincarnation ninjas, Kamizuki seemed to wake up quickly, but with a heavy feeling. I don't know if it's because of his age, he seems to be indifferent. He raised his head blankly, his eyes fixed on Neji in front of him. Seeing Neji staring straight at him, Kamizuki narrowed his eyes suspiciously. You are. After Kamizuki thought about it for a while, he was horrified. At this moment, he was completely pulled back from the situation of death, full of energy. Neji, Hyuga, Neji. Kamizuki rolled his eyes and looked at Neji in surprise. The people behind them opened their mouths slightly in surprise. I know what you want to ask, but don't ask, these things have nothing to do with you. Neji said indifferently. What Karen and Shueyu wanted to say were muffled, and Kabuto was hesitant to say anything. This is really amazing. Although they have never heard of this elder named Hyuga Kamizuki, judging from the age of this elder, and what he said just now, it should be a ninja of the second generation Hokage's era. Moreover, the elders of the Hyuga clan in this era also knew that Hyuga Tenmu and Hyuga Tenshou who died were the only ones left. Where did Hyuga Kamizuki come from? Not at all from this era. Plus, Neji brought them to this weird place, and they knew that Neji really had Master's information, that it was absolutely impossible for ordinary people to have Master's information. Neji's intention to let them know about these things and generate speculation. As their leader, I want to keep them guessing and not dare to draw conclusions about themselves. Only in this way can I lead them safely. The so-called to be a mysterious man. Neji, did you bring me back to life? Why, what happened to Tenin's spirit body? This sentence immediately confirmed the conjecture of several people. God forbearance. That legendary ninja, Kamizuki and Neji seem to know this guy very well. You know, Tenin is a ninja of the same generation as Sandaime. Elder Kamizuki. Neji spoke. Kamizuki immediately noticed something was wrong. No, Neji. Kamizuki's mind was racing and he realized something incredible. It's 68 years since Konoha built the village. Time has passed. Neji, why did you? Kamizuki rolled his eyes and looked at Neji in surprise. Neji didn't speak. Everything was silent. However, Neji is very concerned. This Hyuga Kamizuki is really extraordinary, and he can actually judge the current year in an instant. What kind of existence is it? And Kamizuki turned his head again and looked at the wall of masks next to him. At this moment, he was shocked again. These are Godhead masks. Hyuga Neji, who the hell are you? Kamizuki glanced over and stared at Neji in amazement, his eyes fixed. After pondering for a long time, Neji said indifferently, I still want to ask you, who are you? Neji thought things would go smoothly, but Kamizuki knew the current year in an instant, and he was able to recognize these masks at a glance. It seems that Neji's guess is correct. Kamizuki must know something unknown, but what is his identity? Master Kamizuki, it seems. We're going to have a good chat. Neji gave an intoxicating smile. Then, Neji opened his eyes, and Byakugan shone brightly. Kamizuki's whole body also lit up with the light of the morning. Several people looked puzzled, and the two stagnated, as if their souls flew to a distant time and space. Wow! The dim realm of Vulcan. Neji landed, and on the opposite side was Hyuga Kamizuki. Vulcan. Neji looked up, noticed for a moment, but disappeared. Vulcan. Hyuga Neji, have you already found this out? Kamizuki frowned, his pupils trembling slightly. When Vulcan didn't show up, Neji gave up. He looked at Kamizuki and murmured, I was me 40 years ago, and I am me now. Please rest assured, Master Kamizuki, I resurrected you this time to tell you that I have found all the clues. You must be hiding something from me. Now the world is in great crisis, and I must get your help. Neji's words were very firm. Is the world in crisis? Kamizuki closed his eyes and sensed that a powerful chaos was breaking out in the distance. Then, he opened his eyes and chuckled. I'm afraid, the real crisis is far from coming. Chapter 469 Reincarnation. Otsutsuki Hamura. It's far from here. Then you should know something, right? About the Otsutsuki clan. Neji said indifferently. Otsutsuki. It looks like you've really studied it thoroughly, Neji. Kamizuki's tone gradually calmed down. Obviously, he was just shocked before, but not wary of Neji. It looks like you know something, so I won't hide it. Neji sighed, and if he wanted to know something, he had to pay the same sincerity, which Neji knew very well. Moreover, the person in front of him, Neji, has already felt that he is united with himself, and it is definitely not easy to be. Afterwards, Neji told Kamizuki about all his experiences. From and Ino traveled through time and space and met Otsutsuki Ura style. In the end, it became Hyuga Tenin. Kamizuki heard it. He let out a long sigh. I didn't expect you to be a person of this era. Destiny, everything is destiny. It was fate that pushed you to me, but I didn't expect that I would miss it. It's really interesting. I actually would be fooled by fate. If I trust you, I won't let the ninja world miss so many years of opportunities in vain. I'm still caught in this stupid fight. Kamizuki covered his head, full of regret. But Neji chuckled and said, we mortals are easily influenced by fate, why should we care about this little thing? Now that everything is too late, in order to find the truth, I risked resurrecting you. Although it is disrespectful to you, it can make up for it. The regrets of the past. Neji said that. Kamizuki looked at him hesitantly with meaningful eyes. Long time, long time. Afterwards, Kamizuki opened Shikai and said, where did you start? You don't need to think too much, the most important thing I need to know right now is. After some thought, Neji said firmly, please tell me, what is the existence of Hyuga Tenin's spirit body? Why must Tenen's spirit body be left behind? Tianjin's spirit body. Kamizuki was startled, then thought for a while. After a while, he was startled and remembered something. Oh, I see. Actually, it's not a Tenen spirit, it's Otsutsuki Hamura's spirit. Otsutsuki. Neji rolled her eyes. No wonder that spirit body fits him so well, because he has always been the descendant of Otsutsuki Hamura's physique, and every time he passes through that spirit body, Neji will feel that his physique has been strengthened and improved unparalleled. This fit is definitely not a coincidence. Hamura's spirit body. Why? Neji frowned slightly. Kamizuki explained, Hyuga Tenen, that child is the reincarnation of Otsutsuki Hamura. Because Otsutsuki Hamura's previous life was on the moon, his soul was only allowed to be reincarnated once. Spiritual bodies must not be left in the world. Because now, there is a descendant of a powerful Otsutsuki clan on the moon. He is a descendant of Hamura, and will eventually cause unprecedented damage to the ninja world. Kamizuki's explanation gave Neji a little impression. Otsutsuki Hamura, indeed has a group of descendants on the moon. Unexpectedly, those descendants were even noticed by the Hyuga clan. This is what shocked Neji. This Kamizuki is becoming more and more curious. How did you find this out? Neji asked. However, Kamizuki doesn't seem to be interested in Neji's question, and simply ignores it. Now, I can feel that Tenen's spirit body is still in your body. The descendants of the Six Paths Immortals will be reincarnated again and again, but Hamura has only one spirit body, and someone must pass it on endlessly. The mission I left you at that time was to preserve this spirit body, no matter what, and pass it on to the main clan of the Hyuga clan. It is because, with the spirit body of Otsutsuki Hamura, you can decipher all the powers in the dossier and become the master. It was left to main clan not for the Hyuga clan to spread, but for Hyuga Tenen, the reincarnated spirit of Otsutsuki Hamura, to obtain the power of the dossier, and to pass on this power, together with the power of the Six Paths Immortals. Save the world from being destroyed by the outsiders. Kamizuki's words brought too much information, and the impact on Neji was not small. Since that's the case, why is it that I'm the only one who got the true biography of the dossier? Then, Neji murmured. Kamizuki looked down and said with guilt, the original intention of the establishment of main clan and the branch was also this. I didn't expect that you were born with so much resentment because of the main clan and the branch. I am afraid that over the years, there are many people like you in the Hyuga family. It's a tragedy for the Hyuga family. The power of the file left by Hamura finally forced the Hyuga family to create the main clan system. I hope that the spirits of Tenen can be passed down from generation to generation. I have lived in the Hyuga clan for thousands of years. Kamizuki's words surprised Neji. Each generation, with a different identity, I passed on the inheritance of the Hyuga family, that is, the dossier, until the appearance of Tenen and the appearance of Hamura's spiritual body. But coincidentally, at that time, something happened that prevented me from becoming a first-order mortal and surviving my last life. When I was in a daze, you appeared, Neji. I didn't choose the wrong person. Seeing Kamizuki say that, Neji is getting all the things together more and more. Behind the original plan, there is a bigger plan. If that's the case, then you mean you're not mortal, are you? Kamizuki slowly raised his head without speaking. Then, a roar came. Boom. Like a stream of fire, a glamorous and seductive man fell to the ground, dressed in a fluttering yui garment. Vulcan. Neji turned his head away, only to see Vulcan walking slowly. He said leisurely, the Godhead mask was activated, my body was touched, and the primordial spirit of the clone dissipated for a while. I heard what I said just now, but I didn't expect. Vulcan looked at Kamizuki and murmured, you are the one driving everything behind this. God of Destiny, Tentai Yuming. Vulcan's look is majestic, and at this moment it is completely godlike majesty. Even Neji in front of him seems a little weak. This is God. Neji also looked at Kamizuki in surprise. Although he guessed Kamizuki's identity, he didn't expect that such a powerful identity is here. Vulcan, it seems that you are in Neji's body. No wonder I noticed that the feeling in his body is unusual, very familiar. No, you are wrong. Vulcan said flatly. Neji saw you. I wasn't inside him, and there was nothing else inside him. Then, his expression changed slightly, and he raised his head. Raise your hands, and the flames take to the air. Heaven and earth change. The realm here is the spiritual realm of Vulcan. The power of gods can reshape all things. Crash. The surroundings seemed to be burning like flames, and after the sound of thunderbolt, two dark figures fell to the ground. Neither of the two figures had a face or form, but they were both a cloud of mist. Kamizuki was taken aback and said in surprise, "You two are the master of evil spirits, the god of blood killing, and the evil god, Loki." Chapter 470 Ceremony. God help. Neji blinked at the currently incredible scene. Were conflicts with the gods, but now it is rare to see the gods getting to know each other. It seems that as Neji expected, there is another dimension of the world on the land of the ninja world, and the ninja world, developing in parallel. But because of something, their power has been suppressed and suppressed. Boy, it seems that you really have something incredible about you. Not only me, but Xiaoxia and Vulcan are all used by you. Now, even Tiantayuming is also. Haha, what an interesting guy. Evil God looked at Kamizuki. His attitude towards Kamizuki was somewhat different from the other two gods. Neji asked, "What's wrong?" Vulcan chuckled and said, "What's wrong? It seems that you really don't understand. Tiantayuming is the ruler of the god of fate, and even my control god was under his control back then. Luo, although Lord Ji has formed his own faction to go to the west, he is also subject to the fate of heaven in the god realm. It's a very powerful feeling." Neji pouted and blinked at Kamizuki. Kamizuki sighed and smiled bitterly. Hee, don't make fun of me. Neji, it doesn't matter to them, you don't need to call me that. Now, I'm no longer a master god. Why? Because of the prohibition of the Uzumaki clan. The Uzumaki clan opened the bridge between humans and gods, that is, these godhead masks. The power of all gods is sealed inside, especially the dominant god like me, which has been completely shattered. Sealed up and lost his personality. So the Uzumaki are your enemies? Neji asked. No, you can't say that either. They are also trying to defend against foreign enemies. The Uzumaki clan perceives things beyond the sky, so they must obtain the power of the gods in advance. The death of the ghouls is their most successful example. Now the god of death is almost completely dominated by the Uzumaki clan. But all this is it was the bitter fruit brewed by the gods himself, the battle of the gods that year. Kamizuki frowned, his eyes filled with endless sadness. Neji could feel the helplessness of the end of the powerhouse to some extent. After all, as the supreme god, he couldn't even guess at that time. As the god of destiny, you can imagine how much suffering he suffered. But even so, he still has to endure humiliation for the peace of this ninja world. This may be the real godhead. Respectful. Kamizuki remembered something and said, I won't say much else, time is very urgent now. In this realm of Vulcan, my divine power has recovered a little, and I have completely sensed this battlefield just now. The most urgent thing is a guy from the Otsutsuki clan is planning something. The Otsutsuki clan? Neji asked with a frown. And probably two more. Neji thought of something, and asked, Otsutsuki Kagaya left a posthumous child before he died, but that should belong to the split guy, and also belong to the Otsutsuki clan. Of course, as long as he is a power separated from the Otsutsuki clan. The Otsutsuki clan originally thrived in ways that you humans cannot understand. Neji also felt the urgency of the matter, and although he wanted to know what was going on between the gods, it didn't matter. Now Neji can be sure that the gods are helping him, but it can't go smoothly. It is up to him to defeat Otsutsuki Kagaya. After all, it is more important to prevent more casualties now than the enemy in the future. Then, what I know now is that the spirit of Tenin within me is the reincarnation of Otsutsuki Hamura. And Master Kamizuki, you are the supreme ruler of the God realm, and this is very important. The power of Otsutsuki Hamura and the power of Otsutsuki Hagoromo, which you call the six paths, can be completely sealed. If only by the power of Hagoromo, the world of the gods will be wiped out. Why? Neji couldn't help but wonder. Kamizuki was a little anxious, and immediately said, "You don't have to understand this. Remember my words. You and the power of the six paths immortal must be combined to completely seal Otsutsuki Kagaya. And please do this thing. It is not in vain I bow to the essence of the Hyuga clan so much." Oh. Neji murmured and nodded. In front of these gods, Neji could only choose to obey temporarily. And at best, for now, they have the same purpose. It's just that the woman back then was the last guy who could use the secret techniques of the Uzumaki family. The magic of the gods, the spiritual power of the gods in the mask. Those guys from the Otsutsuki clan took away the bodies of the gods and turned them into chakra lingers on as their spiritual energy. They planted trees, and those fruits were the chakras they made. Although I don't know what caused Kagaya to return to this place again, they must not be allowed to take away anything in this world. Neji was shocked and asked, "So, how do I use this power?" The Godhead ceremony. Neji, my Godhead has dissipated. As a descendant of the Hyuga family, although I am a god, I can be regarded as your predecessor. You come to inherit my Godhead. Hey, you. The evil god was startled, and the tiger's body shook. Neji could hear it in a fog. The Vulcan looked at Neji in surprise, and said thoughtfully, "Hyuga Neji, it seems that this is the last time I call you that." Why? Neji frowned slightly. Kamizuki explained, "God consciousness allows you to become a god, from a mortal to a god, and now that the gods are trapped in masks, there is no second person who will use the Uzumaki god's spiritualism. Even if it can be used, it is scattering their souls all over the world as too late to save the world. The gods have saved this land countless times, but this time it was the bitter fruit of the gods themselves, and there is no way to save them. This time it's up to me. Power to you. Neji, you will become the new god of fate." Blood-killing god finally spoke up and said, "But as a result of doing this, the original god will completely dissipate. I can't manage so much, I've had enough for so many years." Hyuga Kamizuki stretched out his hand and grabbed Neji's shoulder. Neji was stunned. This was so powerful that he couldn't resist. "Master Kamizuki." Neji bites Kiba, there is still room for this matter. But the next moment, he couldn't even say a word. "Remember everything today, since even the heretic god is by your side, then you must have the ability to complete everything. Neji, I look at you, I really look like that child of Tenin." Kamizuki's eyes, which shocked Neji. In the distant years, Neji seemed to see Kamizuki as a former god, and in the long and endless human life, he met countless faces of Hyuga Tenin. Until the real Hamura reincarnated, their master-disciple bond was so deep. Kamizuki's personality has long surpassed his original divine personality. What is more moving than the Godhead is precisely this precious humanity. The three gods on the side took a step back, put their hands together, and said in unison, "Our gods use my strength. Help Tiantai Yumming. Congratulate the old gods and welcome the new ones." Om. A huge roar. Neji's mind blank. Chapter 471 Freed. Divine Freedom. Ding. Congratulations to the host, for obtaining a new identity, the main god of the new world, the god of fate. The sound of the system woke Neji up. I have become a god. All this is so trance. Neji has calmly stepped through difficulties again and again along the way, but this time, it is really difficult to calm down. Ding. Congrats on the strength of the host, directly promoted to semi-holy. Neji woke up completely. Half-saint. This is a half-saint. Neji took a deep breath. What kind of existence is a saint? That was the level of Tongtian, and now he just has a godhead, and Neji immediately soared to the strength of a semi-holy. I'm afraid that after you explode your strength, you can see a very obvious effect in an instant, right? Ding! Congratulations to the host for reaching the 6 paths level and the semi-holy level. Reward the host. 1W proficiency in initial divine power, and 1W proficiency in divine consciousness. Ding! Congratulations to the host for reaching the level of the first glimpse of the door, and reward the host with 1% Tensagen proficiency. Ding! Congratulations to the host for reaching the level of the first glimpse of the Godhead, and reward the host with 1% Tensagen proficiency. Open Personal Properties panel. Neji felt that he was now more than a small success. With this ability, he could simply become the overlord of a party. Host, Hyuga Neji. Age, 18. Actual combat proficiency, 897.8 W. Talents, Steal and Devour, Soul Orb, Fire Soul Orb. Identity, Lord of the New Territories, God of Destiny and Destiny. Strength, Semi-Holy, Quasi-Holy, Saint, Heavenly Path. Ability. 7 Chakra Attributes Max, Back to Basics. Pure Eyes. Tensagen, 4.591%, used by Akugan to increase slowly in actual combat. Swordsmanship ability is superb. Sage Mode Max. Demonic Illusion ability Max. First Glimpse of Divine Power. Physique, Complete Sage Body, Godhead Consciousness First Look. Weapons, Thunder God Sword with Spirit Evil God, Blood Killing God, Wine Sword. Realm, Chakra Spirit Realm, Vulcan Possession. Special items, All-Tailed Chakras, 6 Paths Immortal Yin-Yang Power, Eye of Shisui, Hashirama Cells. Great, the actual combat proficiency is also 900 W. In this case, you can quickly reach the proficiency of 10 million. I remember that 10 million can be exchanged for very good things. Neji was secretly happy, and the system immediately sent a prompt. Ding! Warm reminder, the host, due to the rapid increase in strength, has broken through the semi-sacred level. All items in the Proficiency Exchange Mall have been relisted, and prices have generally increased. The promotion has ended. Fuck you. Neji's face darkened. After all, this divine consciousness and these divine powers were all acquired by Neji's own adventures. This system is too tricky. Forget it, since I have this level of strength, I don't care about your crap. If you increase the price, increase the price. Neji exhaled angrily. The next moment, his consciousness woke up and he opened his eyes. It was the real world. Neji, what's wrong with you? Who are you scolding? Karen leaned over and asked in surprise. It's all right. Neji smirked, only to hear a pop. Everyone was shocked and looked over. I saw that Hyuga Kamizuki, who had been subjected to impure world reincarnation, had fallen to the ground, rotten to the ground. Zizzy. Strange, I didn't cancel impure world reincarnation at all, so. Kabuto muttered. Shueyu also asked suspiciously, and nothing happened just now, but after Neji and the old man briefly said a few words, the two went silent. It didn't take 10 seconds, so that's it. Neji narrowed his eyes. It seemed that the flow of time in the realm of Vulcan was indeed completely different from here, much more exaggerated than in Mount Myoboku. The process of tens of minutes there, only a few seconds have passed here. So what happened just now? These people will never know Akatsuki. But Neji is also glad that he made such a decision. He didn't expect Kamizuki to have such an identity in the end, and because of the intersection of personality and godhead, he gave all the mysteries to himself. However, Neji is a little worried. The current self is also the intersection of godhead and personality. You guys go out first, I have something to do. After dismissing them, Neji turned to look at the masks. Neji quickly hand seal, hundreds of hand seals in a row, lasted for nearly a minute. This is the magic of the gods of the Uzumaki family. It really uses a lot of power. It seems that the Uzumaki family has also done a lot of work. Drink! Neji shouted, and the strange formations around him appeared. The masks are broken one by one. Neji bites Kiba, seemingly under tremendous force. He narrowed his eyes and murmured, "This is the only thing I can do for you now. Now I understand that whether it is a human being or a god, there should be a free soul. Maybe this is the reason why the Uzumaki family was exterminated. The reason, they shouldn't touch such taboos." Whoa, whoa, whoa. Dozens of spiritual bodies quickly dispersed, dissipating at an unattainable speed. Neji fell to the ground exhausted, the light around him fading. In the body, the voice of the evil god asked, "You let the gods go, so we also have our own freedom. Are you sure you want to do this?" "Hee, if you guys want to leave, I won't stay," Neji said lightly. "Humph, boy, you're right." Evil god in Neji's body, seeing this kid, dared to act so boldly. After doing this, Neji closed his eyes slightly and returned to the realm of Vulcan. Borrowing the power of gods to recuperate and take a deep breath, I took an hour to recuperate in the realm of Vulcan, but when I returned to reality, it only took less than a minute. After coming out of the cave, what Neji saw was the stunned faces of everyone. And everything around is like the rejuvenation of the earth, the recovery of all things, the savage growth of trees and grasses. The most terrifying thing is that the streams on the wasteland are flowing, and the water sources are all moisturizing. Vast jungle area. Half holy power. Or those gods. Neji smiled knowingly. It seemed that the two were combined, and the gods still favored this world. Although I don't know what happened, Neji, you must know what happened, right? Neji, I will follow you no matter what you decide. I have already verified your character, Karen said firmly. Neji chuckled and said, "Of course, you can't escape my palm either." "Hey, it's so numb." Shueyu shook her body and looked at the two with contempt. Neji has been recuperating for a long time, and he feels that his body's energy is almost restored. Kabuto said hesitantly, "Although I can feel the power in Neji-kun's body changing, but we have been running all night, and now we have to rush to the frontal battle. Can we really hold on?" Kabuto's concern for Neji now has the taste of Kimimaro 2.0. Neji's mouth twitched slightly, showing a confident smile, and said, "Don't worry, there is nothing else to gain from this trip, and now I can only be sure of one thing, that is I will definitely prevent the disaster of this world." Quote. Neji said, "Hand seal." Bang, tilde. Shadow clone appears. "You and my shadow clone rushed to the frontal battlefield support, my words. Now go somewhere else." Chapter 472 Who? Mask broken. The moon gradually hung in the sky. 17 years have passed since that night, the night of the EPUB 9 Tails uprising. Same night, same blood moon. Ow! The tailed beasts roared, and the ninja coalition arrived. However, facing off-phase time-space ninjutsu is already a headache, not to mention the six-tailed beast. Yugito gasped hard and lowered his arms. There was blood on his arm. "Yugito, don't move, I'll help you stop the bleeding." Ino is helping Yugito with his limited medical ninjutsu. She turned her head suddenly and asked, "Where's Sakura? Where's the medical team?" "Report. The medical team will be here soon." Ino bit Kiba and looked at the behemoth in front of him. These tailed beasts are not something they can deal with at all. Killer Bee, Yugito, and Naruto have all fought to the point of exhaustion. The ninjas of Kumogakure village, who came to the first battlefield first, can only temporarily restrain the tailed beast, but it is imminent. And the most troublesome thing is over there. Whoosh. The space twists while Kakashi turns on Mangekyo Sharingan. Kamui. Obito's time-space ninjutsu failed again. A kunai swiped, and the mask was pierced with a crack. "I saw, Kakashi-sensei. I didn't expect you to be able to crack this guy's time-space ninjutsu. Then we'll be able to beat this guy soon." Although Naruto is very tired, but seeing that he is about to succeed, he will hold on. He closed his eyes and mobilized chakra from within his body again. Boom! EPUB 9 Tails chakra was instantly refined, and his physical strength recovered a lot. How long did it take for the help of the headquarters to analyze a lot of information on Sharingan, as well as information about the Uchiha family, before I discovered this matter? This guy's time-space ninjutsu is now within my range. Quote. Kakashi narrowed his eyes. He had succeeded several times in a row just now. Using Kamui himself, he could reverse the opponent's time-space ninjutsu. In theory, his own and the opponent's were just the same time-space pupilutsu in different directions. But this conclusion made Kakashi extremely frightened. Where did your eyes come from? I don't know, it seems to have been found in the ruins of the Canopy Bridge battle of the Third Ninja World War. It's surprisingly useful. Afe murmured that now, what the audience is most concerned about is his identity. Can manipulate the entire Akatsuki, time-space ninjutsu that does not belong to the 4th generation Hokage, can manipulate Kyuubi, 9 tails, and collect all the tailed beasts to take revenge on Konoha. Originally, as he himself said, Uchiha Madara, this is a fact that no one will doubt. But Uchiha Madara has now been reincarnated by Kabuto Impure World reincarnation in another battlefield, so the identity of this person has become a mystery. Who are you? Who are you? Kakashi's tone was a little dignified. He was afraid of the ending, the worst ending he had expected. For some past events, it is best to keep them in the dust with memory, and there is no need to bring them out. But what is this ominous foreboding? What? Are you afraid? Is it just now that you feel guilty and want to make up for something? But it's too late, is it? Afe's repeated questioning made Kakashi get closer to the truth. Damn. Kakashi bites Kiba. Sharingan turns. Kakashi-sensei. This time I'm here to faint, you cooperate with me. Huh. Rasengan spun in Naruto's hands, and Kakashi was ready at all times. Who? Naruto sprinted quickly, and the current speed is not comparable to ordinary ninjas. Afe avoided it and did not use time and space ninjutsu. Shadow clone behind Naruto took the opportunity to lift the Rasen Shuriken that had been made, and it was spinning like a propeller, which looked very dangerous. Kakashi-sensei. Naruto shouted, and then the Rasen Shuriken flew out, and Afe noticed Kakashi's gaze, frowned, and tried to avoid it. And escaped Rasen Shuriken's trajectory. But with a bang, Naruto's Rasen Shuriken exploded into smoke, which was the incarnation of Naruto's shadow clone. He quickly turned back and jumped, Rasengan in his hands. Ninjutsu means nothing to me. Afe's Rinnegan opened his eyes and planned to absorb all the chakras, but it didn't work. At this time, Naruto's eyes also immediately changed to toad-like eyeballs, and orange-yellow eyeshadow also flashed around the eyes. Naruto. Attack. Oops. Afe bit Kiba and rounded Sharingan. Unexpectedly, Naruto also injected Senpo, Sage Art into Rasengan, which took time. Afe quickly activated Sharingan, which instantly blurred. Naruto aimed directly at the head and smashed it in a spiral. The art of turning the heart. Afe frowned, and Ino, who was not far away, also contributed. After he blurred his head, he stopped moving, and it was too late. Whoosh. Kakashi frowned and turned on Kamui. Rasengan in Naruto's hands, transfer. In the different dimension, Obito's head appeared, and at his head, Rasengan also appeared quietly. In another dimension, Rasengan directly hit Obito's mask. Bang. Boom boom boom. Rasengan directly curled Naruto and Afe out together and fell to the ground on both sides. Smoke is everywhere. The mask shattered. Who? Under this mask. Who, after all these years of mischief, has finally revealed Akatsuki? Kakashi-sensei. There, Sakura came with a group of horses. Sakura, you are here. Yugito took a breath and said. And Ino also rushed over and explained the information to Sakura. Sakura, what I feel now is only the Kumogakure village troops and your medical team. The wounded soldiers in Kumogakure village are more serious and the tailed beasts are too difficult to deal with. The masked man here can only suppress the tailed beast for a short period of time, please channel out the slug-sama. Quote. Good. Haruno Sakura nodded, understanding hand seal, spirituality. Bang, tilde. A slug with a height of 4 or 5 meters appeared in the field, but Sakura was a little surprised. Lord Slug. Slug immediately explained, sorry, on the other side, Lord Tsunade channeled more parts of my body, and now I can only. Haruno Sakura immediately understood and said, it doesn't matter, please do your best, Lord Slug, there are more wounded soldiers here. Good. Sizzle. The slugs immediately split apart and became small slugs, crawling towards the nearby wounded soldiers. But Sakura panicked and murmured, I don't know what's going on with Tsunade. Why do you need to channel such a large number of slugs? Hoo-hoo. The smoke dissipated, and the mask made a crisp landing sound. Everyone's eyes looked over, especially Kakashi's, staring intently there. When the smoke cleared, Ah-Fei's figure was revealed. The mask has dissipated, revealing short hair. On the face, half are ugly scars. Above the scar is the impressive Mangekyo Sharingan, and on the other side is Rinnegan, who seems to be disappointed in the world, with indifferent eyes. Who is this? Naruto asked with a frown. And Kakashi was stunned, unable to speak. Over there, the man sneered lowly and said in a hoarse voice, will you look more guilty when you see me? Kakashi. Chapter 473 Obito. Former teammate. Bring, soil. Kakashi took a step back in fear, even if he had imagined it in his heart. When the real thing appeared in front of him, he couldn't bear it for a while. And the person in front of him, the right half of his face has been completely disfigured, except for the iconic short hair and eyes. That appearance is no longer like the previous Obito. But is there any other explanation for what the person in front of him said at the moment? Who are you calling? No one calls that name anymore, that person is dead, a long time ago. Obito looked up, his face ashen. Now he has Mangekyo Sharingan in his right eye and Rinnegan in his left eye. The past, Uchiha Obito was just a ninja on the tail of a crane, but now he is a Super Cage level ninja who turns his hands over the clouds and turns his hands into the wind. Moreover, this is not the end of his life, and now. Very soon, he will become the existence of the Six Paths Immortal. By that time, I have no interest in you now, and soon, I will have the power of the Six Paths Immortals. By then, even if that Hyuga Neji comes, it will not be my opponent at all. Obito narrowed his eyes full of disappointment at Kakashi. Obito. Kakashi's words trembled, his hand slowly stretched out, and then he retracted his hand without speaking. Why? In front of him is his teammate who should have been killed in battle. The joy of losing and regaining it did not appear. In the identity of Uchiha Madara, he has done so many evil things, and this person in front of him is certain death for the ninja world. And what is it that makes his former teammate look like this? Enough, so far, everything is in vain. Obito's speedy hand seal. Cadent fire style, storm dance. Boom. Zetsu. The huge flame was curled into a spiral shape by Obito's time-space ninjutsu, and quickly attacked Kakashi's side. Cat again. There, Yugito came swiftly, and the blue flames rushed to resist the fiery flames. Bang! The faint blue flame and the red flame collided together, emitting a fiery breath. Smoke billowed, and Obito took the opportunity to step back a good distance. Reinforcements coming. Damn, this time it's a medical unit. It seems Kabuto really can't count on it at all. Obito stood on the huge stone, raised his head, and looked at the big-tailed beasts not far away. A total of 6, although strong, but because of the long-term battle, they have all been exhausted and have been controlled. Particular, there are 2 intractable troubles, Uzumaki Naruto and Killer Bee, on the battlefield over there. If this side cannot gain an advantage, I am afraid that the plan will be interrupted. Captain Kakashi, why don't you run away? Yugito stepped forward and spoke to Kakashi in an almost scolding tone. Because she was brought to Konoha village by Hyuga Neji as a hostage, but in fact her treatment was basically top-secret protection, so during Anbu's intelligence work, although Kakashi served as her captain several times, but actually Yugito doesn't have that much reverence for Kakashi. Moreover, she couldn't understand that Kakashi was in a daze when faced with such an important enemy in battle. What the hell is going on? Kakashi-sensei. Over there, Ino is also asking from a distance. Kakashi's expression was still stunned. For him, these children don't understand at all how shocking it is to see his former teammate, Uchiha Obito, on such a battlefield. Who is he? Over there, a chakra-depleted Naruto clone asked. Uchiha Obito. Kakashi looked indifferent and sighed. It's my former teammate. The Third Ninja War, the Battle of Kanabi Bridge. Kakashi was a teenager. Uchiha Obito, at a critical moment, looked at the boulder that was about to fall on Kakashi, ran over decisively, grabbed Kakashi's body, and pushed it out. But he couldn't avoid it any longer. Boom! The huge stone pressed down, pressing Obito's entire right half under the stone. Obito. That girl named Rin was their teammate. Obito, Obito. Kakashi and Rin shouted hysterically and tried every means to push the boulder away, but at that time, Kakashi had already been slashed in his left eye by the enemy because of that victory. That's why he, who had been promoted to Jonin at that time, was almost overwhelmed by this huge stone at a critical moment. But Obito, the ninja of the Uchiha clan at the back of the crane, sacrificed himself. Enough. Don't try any more. The body on the right is unconscious. Damn. Anger and helplessness filled Kakashi's heart. Once this suffocating emotion was buried, it would be 19 years. Kakashi, I'm going to give you my eyes. In other words, the eyes of Kakashi-sensei now belong to this guy. No wonder the time-space ninjutsu used by Sharingan can be connected to the same space, because it is basically the same pair of eyes. Ino frowned slightly. Her strength at this moment is different from before, and she is an elite Jonin. She must provoke the lead at this moment. Damn. Kakashi frowned, bent down on one knee, and continued on his knees. How's it going? Kakashi, seeing me, already feel guilty enough to kneel. Obito over there, still staring at Kakashi arrogantly, but there doesn't seem to be any resentment in his eyes, and there is only endless disappointment in this world. An interesting disappointment. But this is exactly what Kakashi is afraid of. He'd rather Obito run over and scold him, blame him, but no, there's just a silent truth. Kakashi-sensei has used Kamui too many times to fight this guy. Before changing it, he should have been hospitalized. Over there, Naruto's clone said. Ino was stunned for a moment, then jumped up immediately. Approaching Kakashi, Ino stretched out his hand. The medical ninjutsu glowed green chakra and slowly poured into Kakashi's body. Ino, I'm sorry, I'm afraid I'll have to ask you next. Kakashi looked like he couldn't hold it anymore. The tiring battle and the mental defeat made it difficult for him to face a more difficult battle. But obviously, the onslaught of the enemy has just begun. Don't worry, next, I'll teach this guy a lesson. Yugito stood up, with cat-like chakra all over his body. Yugito, you've fought long enough, and you're a human Jinchuriki column force. Kakashi bit Kiba and tried to stop it, but couldn't even speak. Kakashi-sensei, you rest first, trust us. Ino said. Afterwards, she unlocked medical ninjutsu, and hand seal with both hands. Om. After closing her eyes, she was startled and murmured, something. Here, soon, 4 people. Ino couldn't help feeling uneasy in his heart. The chakras of these 4 people were unusual, and they seemed to be very fast, so fast that they were not moving little by little, but like a passage of time and space. Moreover, this chakra is so powerful that even Ino can perceive it from a distance. She originally just wanted to use the secret techniques of the Yamanaka family to find out when the support from the headquarters would arrive, but she was shocked by these 4 inexplicably powerful chakras. Hopefully, these 4 will not be enemies. Chapter 474 Two Tails. I took it. Next, I'll deal with you. No matter if you are Obito or something, since you are Captain Kakashi's former teammate, then it should be a ninja from Konoha village. It is unforgivable to do such an outrageous thing. Yugito's steadfast pace, with a faint blue chakra. Chakra is like a churning flame in the air, turning the cold air around it into the appearance of being approached by the furnace. Air flow. See. Obito was stunned for a moment and murmured, "Is this the special chakra of the two-tailed cat? Nether fire from hell. Yeah, soon, I'll send you to hell." Yugito looked indifferent. His eyes were somewhat similar to Neji's. His whole body was churning with tailed beast fire, and the sharp claws on his hands quickly stretched out. Just right. Obito's mouth twitched, and his neck was crooked, and chakra almost recovered. "I've been to hell too, so let's let you all experience what is real. Hell today." Whoa, whoa, whoa. When Obito unfolds, space ninjutsu, Uzumaki rolls, and the whole person is absorbed. Then, immediately appeared behind Yugito, and Yugito reacted and turned back quickly. Huh. A claw, but Obito didn't dodge at all, just slid through his body. Over there, Kakashi was vaguely uneasy. Just now, the hell Obito said didn't sound like a joke, this uneasy feeling. He frowned slightly, and despite his lack of energy, he still tried his best to stand up. "Kakashi-sensei, don't move yet, my medical ninjutsu is not at the level of medical troops. I can only help you try not to expand the wound, but I can't help you recover chakra. I am sorry." Ino feels guilty slowly, although she has studied medical ninjutsu, but unfortunately Neji has never been injured along the way, and she does not need her to heal. More needs her Yamanaka clan secret skills and less important perception ability, so for medical ability, since the Hyuga clan's civil strife to heal Hyuga's wounds, Ino has neglected and trained. Only now, when the book is used up, I hate it less. Bang. Ah. Yugito was finally exhausted and fell to the ground. Obito kicked Yugito down with one leg. Get it. Shoo shoo, tilde. Time and space were distorted. Obito's figure appeared behind Yugito, and put a hand on her shoulder. It's all over. Obito smiled softly, but the next moment, Yugito's eyes glowed with a strange blue light. You finally showed your flaws. What? Obito was about to use Sharingan to absorb Yugito, but Yugito slapped him in the backhand. PFF'd. Cat's claws slashed deep into Obito's face, and blood splattered. Go to hell. Huh. A claw in the past, this claw pointed directly at the chest, can kill instantly. Claw, it grabbed Obito's chest and stabbed it from behind. Did it work? There, Sakura just finished organizing the work of the medical team and rushed over. No. Ino sighed. I saw that Yugito's attack still passed through Obito's body. Although the attack just now worked, this time, Obito used the blur to escape. This ability is really useful. Yugito snorted and pushed away quickly. Obito touched his face, the blood was overflowing, and it was just a paw, and several deep scars and blood marks were left on his body. Pretending to be tricked by the enemy, in fact, it was just an instant attack to seize the opponent's weaknesses. As expected of the two-tailed Jinchuriki column force of Kumogakure village. However, such an excellent ninja was tricked into working in the Konoha village intelligence department. No wonder I've been looking for so long and can't find it. Don't you think it's a pity? A ninja as good as you can obviously do more important tasks. Listening to Obito's words, Yugito sneered and said, excellent ninja. No, that's because you haven't seen a better ninja. I have. Yugito's eyes flickered, thinking of that handsome boy. At first glance back then, she looked sideways, and to this day, she still hasn't forgotten the figure of the young man who made her heart flutter. It is precisely because I have seen such good ninjas that I never feel that I am good enough. Ha ha, that's enough, even if you don't say it, I know it's that guy Hyuga Neji. However, I will let him stand in front of you embarrassed, but in order to achieve this goal, I want the things in your body. Obito's mouth twitched, as if he had been preparing something for a long time. He started to hand seal. It was originally intended to be used to deal with Yahweh and Kyubi, Ninetales' final trick, but I didn't expect you to be the more difficult one to deal with, but the opportunity is present, and I'm not going to let it go. Obito's eyes. He slowly hand seal, put his hands together and hit it off. Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth. Then, he put the palm of his hand and aimed at Yugito. Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth. This guy will. Sakura yelled badly. And Ino said, as Rinnegan's ability. Yugito took a few steps back and looked around. Rinnegan's move, that Akatsuki member seemed to use a black sphere that time, almost sucking the core of Konoha into the sky. But Yugito didn't see the black sphere, but Obito looked at Yugito confidently. I only have one Rinnegan, so I can't activate the full Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth. But it's enough for a guy like you. It's reinforced by Hashirama's cells to deal with people. Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth, of the Jinchuriki column force. Your tailed beast chakra was fighting with me. Oh right, I was in full contact. The center of my Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth, the point is the power of your body's tail beast. What? Yugito just reacted, but it was too late. The whole person was no longer able to move, the whole person was lifted up and flew into the air. On the ground, countless gravels were attracted away. Because it is a special edition Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth, the attraction is poor, only countless rubble and debris are attracted away, but a huge number hit Yugito's body, blood splattered. Fly. Crushed stones and sharp objects pierced Yugito's skin, and blood stained all of Yugito's clothing. Damn. Yugito bites Kiba angrily, and the tailed beast chakra erupts. But, to no avail, the stronger the tailed beast chakra, the stronger the attraction. Obito's mouth twitched, and he said coldly, it's useless, because the tailed beast chakra is the center. In the battle with other tailed beasts, there is no one who can save you. I didn't expect the first to come to support the medical team, how naive. Yugito. Ino cried out bitterly, but to no avail. His swift hand seal aimed at Obito over there. The heart turns. Give it up, little girl. You are the person by Hyuga Neji's side, why don't you learn his talents? At this time, giving up is the best choice. Whoosh. Tilda. Obito immediately disappeared in front of everyone, and appeared in the air in an instant, behind Yugito. Yugito's whole body was wrapped in the debris and stones, forming a small sphere, but the blood was still flowing out. Second tail, I accept it. Obito stretched out his hand, Rinnegan lit up. Chapter 475 Hinata. I'm here to fight for my brother. Yugito. Terrible. Ino clenched his fists. What should I do in this emergency? Now that Neji hasn't rushed to the battlefield because of other things, such an unexpected thing has happened. The state of Kakashi next to it. I can't say enough. Mangekyo Sharingan. Kakashi forcibly turned on Sharingan, but soon, he almost lost consciousness. With a bang, Kakashi fell to the ground. Kakashi-sensei. Ino helped Kakashi up with a look of entanglement and intolerance. Although Yugito is not a ninja of Konoha, but because it was brought by Neji, and Ino also witnessed this journey, and Yugito also has an inexplicable bond, and now Yugito is treated like this, Ino wants to save his life, but suffers from no effective way. Ino. At this time, next to him, Sakura came over. Kakashi-sensei, leave it to me, his pulse is already very weak. It seems that his mental power and Sharingan are burdened. Sakura hand seal, chakra ignites. Then, she put her hand on Kakashi, Yugito's back, and Kakashi recovered a lot of blood in an instant. Sorry, Sakura. Don't move, Kakashi-sensei. Only by restoring your strength now will we have a chance of winning against that guy. Sakura. At this time, next to him, Naruto's clone came over. He looked worried about the Yugito above, and said dumbly, Sakura, help me recover chakra too. I can fight too. Sakura shook his head helplessly. It's useless, now what we need to fight against that guy is a ninja with pupil power like Kakashi-sensei. In our Konoha village, apart from Neji, Kakashi-sensei is the only one, you don't know that. Understand? When Naruto heard this, he had to helplessly put down his hand. Ino next to him has hand seal at this moment. The art of turning hearts. A roar, Obito was startled, feeling that his subconscious was being swayed by something. It was like behind his neck, someone stretched out his hand and held his neck tightly, making it difficult for him to move. He glanced at his eyes, saw Ino behind the hand seal underneath, and sneered, it's you troublesome little girl again. Humph. Obito himself hates this kind of ninjutsu to control others, and Ino is still a follower behind Neji, because he has suffered a few losses in Neji's hands. Obito's resentment towards Neji is now also transformed into Ino's body. Then, he forcibly broke free of Ino's control and held out a hand. One-handed hand seal. Want to get into my consciousness? Then try it. Boom. Ino was startled and rolled his eyes. Fog, the land of Yuhi the gorilla. Countless blood, and Kurigakure ninjas. Kill him. Kill this guy. Oops. Quick, run. When the people died, they cried and feared. The sound of mourning is endless. The roar of a young man is even more tragic and shocking. Die, die, die all. Boom boom boom. Mokuden wood-style cutting technique. PFF, tilde. The sound of the slender wooden stick piercing the flesh was very dull. The sound of blood flowing slowly, quietly disappeared like a scrub in the ear. After a long time, Ino slowly opened his eyes. In front of him was a tragic scene. The corpses of dozens of people died tragically, each of which was extremely cruel and terrifying. And the boy with only one eye, wearing a curly coat, holding a deceased girl in his arms, his face is full of despair. In the blood-mist village of Yuhi, the young man opened his chin slightly, looked at his masterpiece, lowered his head again, and closed his mouth. Tears of blood were flowing in her eyes, and it was slowly dripping onto the cold face of the girl whose body had gradually cooled down in her arms. I see, I'm in hell. Hell. Ino was startled, and he was already stunned. Sakura on the side was taken aback. Seeing Ino sober up, Sakura said, "What's wrong with you? Did you fall into demonic illusion? I'll inject chakra into your physical strength, and you'll be fine." Ino was startled, shook his head slowly, and said, "No, that guy imposed demonic illusion on himself. Because I controlled that guy's subconscious, I was forced to fall into demonic illusion. Or rather, that the guy's subconscious, that guy." What happened? Ino looked up leisurely and looked at Obito in the air. Obito's mouth twitched and he said with a smile, "I didn't expect that level of consciousness would not swallow you up, little girl." Ino said solemnly, I am not the girl from that time. I am also a ninja on my own. Stop looking down on people." Is it? Obito looked indifferent, and the faint blue chakra burst out, and under the influence of Rinnegan, all poured into Obito's body. Until the last drop that Obito breathed a sigh of relief and smiled contemptuously, but then, it's all over. He let go, and the debris and rocks around Yugito fell and dispersed. Yugito also fell down and lost consciousness, his body was covered in blood, and his face was pale. Yugito. Shadow clone. Naruto's clone worked hard for the last chakra, made 3 clones, and caught Yugito. Sakura, help Yugito. Naruto is calling for help over there, but here Kakashi sighs. The tailed beast chakra has been completely pulled away. This has been. Obito looked indifferent, stretched out his hand, and the slender Mokuden, wood style, slowly overflowed in his palm. Although the tailed beast in the human Jinchuriki column force will become very weak once it is pulled away, and will be on the verge of death within 10 minutes, but I don't want to give this guy that time. On Obito's face, fresh Yuhi's paw prints were still flowing with blood. Go to hell. He widened his eyes and Mokuden, wood style, flew down. Whoosh. The speed is fast, and Naruto's clone has no chakra to resist this move. 8 trigrams vacuum palm. Boom. With a huge palm, all the Mokuden, wood style, are thrown away. The chakra of Gentle Fist even annihilated all Mokuden, wood style, leaving only sawdust. This is the vacuum palm of the Gentle Fist method, Ino exclaimed in surprise. In the air, Obito also slowly stepped back and fell to the ground. Is it? Everyone looked together, and saw the figure of a girl not far away. Chibangs, a pair of clear Byakugan, unwavering eyes. It is Hyuga Hinata. Hinata, how did you? Naruto was very surprised. And Ino was also shocked. Hinata, you go to the medical unit to treat the wounded. The 6-tailed beasts over there are the main force of the enemy. This is not the place you should come. But Hinata frowned slightly and said, that guy's attack just now was because of Mangekyo Sharingan, so he can attack from the blind corner of his field of vision, where you can't see it at all. But my Byakugan, I can see everything clearly. The blind spot of vision. If it wasn't for me, I'm afraid Yugito would have. Everyone was silent one by one, and they should have expected this situation long ago when Kakashi lost his fighting power. Hinata, on the other hand, continued to look firmly at Obito, who was in front of him, and said, it's true that there are no ninjas who can fight this guy except Neji-san and Kakashi-sensei. But I'm still here. Just let me fight for Neji-san. Quote. 476 Reinforcement. Perfect fit. Hinata, you are no match for that guy. Ino took a few steps over there. She had already made Yugito do something stupid just now. How could she still let Hinata go now? If anything goes wrong with Hinata, I'm afraid Neji will. Ino took a few steps forward, and Sakura took Ino's hand. Ino, get out of the way and let me go. Sakura looked firm, but the next moment, Naruto's shadow clone carried Yugito over. Alive, Yugito she. Although Naruto's clone no longer has chakra, he still has a clear consciousness. Sakura, please, save Yugito no matter what. Ino asked earnestly. And over there, Hinata is already a hand seal. Byakugan. Zetsu. Chakra swirled around Byakugan, and after Hinata stands together, hand seal again. Ninja swift double lion fist. Ow. I saw that chakra transformed into 2 huge lion heads, which appeared in Hinata's left and right fists, and her whole body's chakra also soared. Hinata. Ino, who was not far away, took 2 steps slowly. Is it incomprehensible to Hinata's mood? As Neji's younger sister, Hinata stayed under Tsunade's door to learn medical ninjutsu because of her limited strength. At that time, all of their female ninjas were arranged by Neji under Tsunade's door, and only Ino and Tenten were taken to sword dance. Field meeting. Unexpectedly, the great change of the conference, in the end, only Neji and Ino disappeared in the great change. But in terms of time, Ino has only 3 years, and Hinata has been with Neji for more than 10 years since he was a child. Now, in order to survive until Neji and reinforcements come to support the battlefield, Ino can't wait to fight with his own life to delay, so why not Hinata? Even though she is Miss Hyuga, who is respected in the Hyuga clan now, her unwavering trust in Neji is unmatched by anyone. Hehe, one by one, that Hyuga Neji is probably too scared to hide. You ninjas are better, all of you have to fight for him. Obito thought it was funny, but now he doesn't care. He glanced over there. Although Naruto's body and Killer Bee were trapped by the 6-tailed beasts, it was clear that the current state of the 6-tailed beasts would be difficult to set off a storm. Now that even the medical troop has rushed over, the means of attack on his side will appear to be very simple. Although the enemy's combat capability is limited, because the medical troop is there, the tactics of delaying time are more than enough. Especially the little girl from the Yamanaka clan, and Tsunade's direct disciple, Haruno Sakura. The combination of these two people and Kakashi, who may regain his strength at any time, is almost impossible to fight quickly. It is better to solve it quickly. These guys. After the guy is summoned, it's okay to deal with Yahweh and Kyubi, Nine Tails. Obito was in a daze, and the next moment, his eyes widened. Bang! Ah! Obito was startled, his whole body was hit in the chest, and he flew backwards quickly. Bang! Bang! Tilde. After falling to the ground, Obito rolled a few times. Zai stood up slowly and said in surprise, "This little girl has 2 strokes." Unexpectedly, he was stunned for a short time, and he didn't even notice anyone approaching. What to do? But the next moment, he was startled again. Oops. Huh. Hanada was startled, his last punch hit the acupuncture point firmly, but this punch went straight through. Damn girl. Obito bit Kiba and was about to fight back, but the next moment, he was stunned and realized something. Ino, who was not far away, was looking at him with hand seal. He threw a heavy punch, but hesitated for a while, and then Hanada next to him had time to quickly pull away and avoid Obito's attack. That's great. So dangerous. Ino heaved a sigh of relief. Although the second attempt had a problem, it finally worked. Yugito is already like this, she must not let anything happen to Hanada. During Neji's absence, she must do her best to protect everyone on this battlefield. I see, that little girl has the same Byakugan as Hyuga Neji, so she must be a member of the Hyuga clan, right? At the moment when she attacked, the girl of the Yamanaka clan used a secret technique to interfere with my actions, causing my actions to be compared in comparison. A more sluggish illusion. Obito saw through the two's tactics at once. Hanada ignited his fighting spirit and said, Yugito is Brother Neji's friend and partner. Brother Neji said that because of Sister Yugito, the grievances between Kumogakure village and the Hyuga family can guarantee a perfect future. Development. But you guy. Hanada bit Kiba, a rare trace of anger appeared in his eyes. I will never forgive you. Drink. Hanada is another vacuum palm. However, Obito avoided it easily, and entered the different space with a h sound. Immediately, he appeared behind Hanada and stretched out his hand. You've been fooled. Next, the attack range you've entered. Hanada turned his head handsomely and slapped him. PFF'd. Obito was hit, and he took 2 steps back. Is it that girl from the Yamanaka clan again? But Obito looked indifferent and held out a hand-to-hand seal. But he was startled, his whole body couldn't move. He lowered his head and saw a black shadow under his feet, pitch black. And what this shadow is slowly extending, bending, and connecting is a group of ninjas. Good job, Shikamaru. Ino let out a sigh of relief, reinforcements arrived. I saw Shikamaru behind, Inazuka Kiba, Aburame Shino, Akamichi Choji, all coming. Shikamaru. I haven't cooperated with Neji for a long time. It seems that Hanada is making great progress now. Inazuka Kiba. Fuck Hanada. Beat him to death. Choji. Ino, I saw your performance. It's amazing. Shino. So, there is no chance for me to perform. It's a shame, but I don't mind. Oops. Obito shouted that it was not good, and there were ninjas who were not afraid, but those troublesome secret techniques were so hard to resist. The shadow binding technique of the Nara clan, the heart-turning technique of the Yamanaka clan are all very difficult, and the Hyuga clan in front of me. He wanted to blur, but found that the acupoints had been restricted. 8 trigrams 2 palms. 4 palms. 8 palms. 16 palms. 32 palms. Hanada hits so fast that it almost matches Neji's speed. 64 palms. The hands almost formed a shadow, and everyone who stood watching from a distance was stunned by this scene. 64 palms. Is Hinata's talent so amazing? It's like Neji, the crowd exclaimed. And Obito groaned while biting Kiba's teeth. The strength is good, but for example Hyuga Neji, it's still a lot worse. Hinata, whose posture was not over, sank. Neji brother's account is done, and Yugito's sister's next. 8 trigrams 96 palms. Nani, can you still? 112 palms. Every palm has inherited the precision of Neji, and Hinata's skills are also very exquisite from the personal guidance of Neji. Gentle Fist Law 8 trigrams 128 palms. Chapter 477 Save. The Power to Bring Back the Dead. Gentle Fist Law 8 trigrams 128 palms. Hinata's look was firm. This is a technique left to me by Brother Neji. Now that Brother Neji is not on the battlefield, but Brother Neji will still give me strength. Drink. Everyone's hope was raised, but Hinata actually learned Neji's moves. 8 trigrams 64 palms is Hyuga main clan's unique trick passed down from generation to generation, and Neji created these more bizarre moves from the name of the tail of the crane, to the genius everyone admires. Of course, the power of Neji is unknown, but since Hinata can learn such powerful moves, it must be a difficult existence. Good job, Hinata. Kill that guy. Shadow Clone without chakra couldn't help but want to rush up at this moment and run away with that guy with Hinata. Boom boom boom. Every punch hit Obito's body and didn't give Obito any chance to dodge. At this moment, even blur is not available. Obito frowned, beating next to each other. Even with the super strong combination of Rinnegan and Mangekyo Sharingan, he still couldn't stand the subtle flaws caught by the opponent, which made Obito fall into a tough fight. Bang! Last palm, Obito was knocked out. Dust is everywhere. Puff, puff. The heartbeat is getting weaker and weaker. Sakura swallowed, cold sweat dripping down. Looking at the wounded lying on the ground, it was Yugito. Who would have thought that after she had just commanded the work of the medical team over there, she now encountered the biggest problem since she started practicing medicine. This is not some ordinary injury and weakness, but the force of the human Jinchuriki column has been pulled away from the tailed beast. What to do? How can the death of the human Jinchuriki column force be avoided? Yugito bit Kiba, although the whole person was unconscious, but the signs from time to time reminded Sakura, now. Yugito is still alive. If she did nothing and watched Yugito die in front of her, she would kill Yugito. It's okay, believe in yourself. Sakura swallowed and stretched out her hands. ZZ. The medical chakra was green, emanating from Sakura's hands and slowly pouring into Yugito's body. After a while, she sighed and muttered to herself, no, it's not an injury that medical ninjutsu can treat. Her vitality is getting weaker and weaker. It's not the lack of chakra. It's... Sakura was startled, seemed to realize something, and immediately leaned over. Put his ear on Yugito's chest and listened to the faint heartbeat inside. PFF'd. PFF'd. Pass. Absolutely right, this is what Tsunade-sama said, the most troublesome situation. It's already suspended in suspended animation, and if it goes on like this, Yugito will be helpless. The chakra of the tailed beast is already the most difficult situation for the human Jinchuriki column force. The life energy, if the tailed beast is pulled away, there is no way to maintain the basic operation of the body. Not only the chakra is pulled out, but also their vitality. Sakura muttered, taking a deep breath. In this situation, you must be calm. After a while, a square-shaped mark flashed on her forehead. Like silk threads, the mark began to spread, spreading like a mesh towards the rest of the face. Yin seal open. Sakura opened her eyes and held out her hand again. This time, the chakra was more intense, and it was continuously transported into Yugito's body. You must live. Even if you can barely hold on for a while, it's the longest time you can do it now. Over there, Kakashi took a breath when he saw this scene. I remember the creation and regeneration of chakra by Hokage at that time. Has Sakura been able to control it freely? But in this case, for the Jinchuriki column power of the person who has already pulled out the tail beast, it is only to delay the pain of death. Right now, no one can save Yugito. Huh. A handful of kunai flew, and the space was distorted. Oops. Kakashi flew away and caught it. Because Sharingan can't use any more chakra, but still provides good insight. Kakashi was simply in a hurry, and he stretched out his hand to hold the kunai tightly, and blood flowed from the ripped palm. Kakashi-sensei. Sakura was interrupted, startled. Obito over there faced the continuous attacks of Ino and Hinata, and even pulled away and launched an attack. Kakashi said, Sakura, don't worry, even now I can still cover you. Yugito means different things to us. Neji brought Yugito from Kumogakure village back to Konoha village in order to strengthen the bond between Konoha and the village of Kumogakure, which is farthest from us, is a symbol of our peaceful existence, and we must do our best to save her life. Quote. But Sakura is still delivering medical chakra in his hand, his eyes are full of helplessness. No matter how strong the medical ninjutsu is, it can't have the ability to bring back the dead. Yugito's life, I may not be able to save it. Sakura is now a very good medical ninja, so there is no problem with the basic judgment of this kind of thing. A gust of gloomy wind blew past, and the sound of Hinata hitting the palms could be heard incessantly. At this moment, the two of them were so quiet that no one dared to make a sound first. The next moment, a footstep fell gently and walked slowly. The footsteps were very light, but they carried an inexplicably familiar chakra. White clothes fell to the ground. Kakashi glanced at him. The young man's face was handsome, his eyes were as pure as introverted, and there was no hostility, but he was indifferent and unyielding. Yugito. Neji's breathing is even, but his brows are also slightly wrinkled, because Yugito in front of him is not only unable to feel a lot of life breath. Moreover, the wounds on the whole body are also unbearable to look at. Neji walked over slowly, although it was just a shadow clone, but with the strength of Neji today, just a shadow clone also has almost all the abilities of the main body. Chakra is also more than 30% of the body. Really, the tailed beast has been taken away. Neji was stunned for a moment, seeing everything at a glance. He crouched down beside Sakura, watching Sakura give Yugito medical treatment. Sakura also panicked and murmured, Neji, I tried my best. I don't blame you, you should step back first. Neji in Anbu and high-level executives, he has long been recognized as a high level without ambition. As the actual ruler of the Hyuga family, Neji can't help but be the man of the 5th generation Hokage Hyuga, and the Hyuga family is the highest commander of the police department. Sakura obediently stopped and took a step back. Even the medical unit she was in was completely reorganized by Neji, which was able to play such a significant role in this war. Neji, she's been drawn to the tailed beast, already. Kakashi sighed and murmured. And Neji just stared blankly at Yugito lying on the ground, reached out and took her hand. Neji rubbed for a moment, sadness coming from it. It's been hard work all these years, although I know you're tired and want to sleep, but I'm sorry, out of my selfishness, I don't want you to die. Neji took a deep breath, his mind filled with images of when he first met Yugito. A strange chakra appeared in his body. Kakashi behind him was startled. Chapter 478 appear. Savior. Neji, what is this? Kakashi muttered. Because he has Sharingan, the changes in Neji's body can basically be judged. I saw a strange chakra surged up in Neji's body from the moment just now. The chakra slowly filled Neji's body, surrounding Neji's whole body. It doesn't look like pure chakra, but like the power of life. Neji said slowly, this is the power of the sun. The power of the sun. Kakashi couldn't help but wonder. Neji explained, if you have to understand it, you can see it as the power of the Six Paths sages. Six Paths fairy power. Neji, how can you have such power? Kakashi opened his mouth slightly. Although it hasn't taken effect yet, the powerful life force is something Kakashi has never seen before. Neji continuously transported the powerful life force in his body into Yugito's body, and let the power in his body fill Yugito's body. He casually murmured and explained, the power of the immortal is divided into the power of Yang and the power of Yin. That Rinnegan belongs to the power of the immortal. It is a typical power of Yin. It is the attack method of the immortal, and it can reach the level of control with sage art. Natural energy even produces the power of creation. And this power of Yang lies in the physique of the immortals. The power of the body of the immortals has a strong manifestation of vitality in the Senju and Uzumaki clan of later generations. The source of that power is the power of Yang. Quote, Karen is the descendant of the Uzumaki clan, and she perfectly inherits the sage body quality genes contained in the Uzumaki clan. She is the most perfect heir to the power of the sun, but because she can't be a complete master, she can't exert a more powerful effect. It can only be used to restore and heal wounds. But actually, the Six Paths Fairy has a younger brother. As Neji said, Kakashi and Sakura were taken aback. And another brother. Yes, this younger brother is of the same level as the Six Paths Immortals. In other words, there are two co-owners of Yin power and Yang power. Six Paths Sage separated the power of Yang and Yin, and gave the difference to his two sons, Indra and Asura. So the chakra of the Sage Six Paths was divided into two families and began to fight endlessly. But although his younger brother went to the moon to seal the princess of the distant planet, he also has descendants, and his descendants have inherited all his abilities, one of which is the later Hyuga family. Neji made the origin of the Hyuga clan so certain because Neji also made a lot of unexpected research results on the way to pursue the dossier and the Otsutsuki clan. And these are the most reasonable calculations that Neji has made, but Kakashi and Sakura are very difficult to listen to. Mention the younger brother of the Six Paths Immortal, the story of the princess who went to the sphere to seal the distant planet, they couldn't understand it at all. Neji only explained, in other words, the Hyuga clan is a perfect clan. The source of the Byakugan of the Hyuga clan is the power of Yin. The constant source of vitality brought by the power of Yang. What I am using now is not some medical ninjutsu, but the source of life. Boom. Yugito's whole body burned with life force as if a fire had burst into flames. Quiet blue, the fire of life. There is a very big difference between this faint blue and the color of the two-tailed cat, whether it is texture or degree, it is far beyond. Yugito, as a Jinchuriki column force, you must have suffered a lot, right? Follow me for the rest of your life, and I will never let you suffer like that again. Neji stretched out his hand, burrowed into the back of Yugito's neck, and hugged him tightly. Yugito gradually woke up in Neji's arms. Neji. When he opened his eyes, what he saw was Neji's warm smile. Neji, you are here. Yugito let out a knowing smile and gradually fell asleep again. In Neji's eyes, reflected Yugito, who was covered in scars but with a smile on his face. Kakashi, sensei, Sakura, who made Yugito like this, is that Uchiha Obito over there? Neji lowered his head, unable to see his gloomy eyes. You know Obito. Kakashi was a little surprised. Sakura nodded secretly and said, since you are here, Neji, then our battle has a chance of winning. Zizzy. Smoke cleared and Hinata took a few breaths. Damn it, you're a bit too slapped. Ino stood behind Hinata and sighed. And over there, the Chunin and the Jonin of Konoha village. Kiba pass Kiba. Bang. Obito jumped back in confusion, and Kiba's attack shattered the boulder he was standing on. Kiba, don't be so rash, the bugs told me that there is some strange power in this guy, so Hinata's moves won't have much effect. Shino said so. Really? Then I'm more curious about what kind of power he has. Kiba bit Kiba, turned and mounted Akamaru to prepare for action. Hey, Kiba, don't be alone. Shikamaru was a little anxious. He. Over there, a few sneers attracted everyone's attention. Obito, who had been extremely embarrassed by the triple attack of Hinata, Shikamaru, and Ino, showed a frantic smile. What are you laughing at? Choji showed a serious face. Obito slowly stopped smiling and said, Hyuga Neji's younger sister. It's really boring. Even if you learned your brother's moves, your strength is still far from his. Didn't your brother tell you? To deal with me with Rinnegan, at least use Sage Art or higher moves. Bansho Tenon, Universal Pull. Obito rounded Rinnegan, stretched out his hand, and aimed at Hinata. Hinata. Ino was startled and wanted to reach out and hold it, but missed it. Just let Hinata's whole body attract him and fly towards Obito. Ah! Hinata wanted to resist with all his strength, he still couldn't resist Rinnegan's power. Obito had already stretched out his hand, and a slender, sharp wooden stick was pierced from the palm of his hand. Go to hell! Bang! The huge gentle fist chakra sprung up in the air, protecting Hinata who was almost pierced, and then smashing Obito hard. Boom boom boom. Obito was knocked into the air, and even knocked back after landing, for a full tens of meters. I saw that in front of everyone. Neji had appeared in the air for a moment, I don't know when. He firmly caught the falling Hinata and hugged Hinata in his arms. Land slowly. Hinata, go to the back, baby, this is not the place you should be. Neji's eyes, towards Hinata, are full of brother's love for his sister. It has been more than 10 years since she came to this world, and Neji has long regarded Hinata as her own sister. It is impossible for her relatives to participate in such a dangerous battle. Hinata nodded and immediately took a few steps back. And in the front, there is a sound of whoosh. The slender stick came flying, and Neji only stretched out his hand. The stick was completely torn. Immediately after, there were a dozen thicker sticks, and Neji frowned slightly and pouted. Puff, puff. With 2 palms, all the wooden sticks were instantly smashed into dust, annihilated and disappeared. Everyone was stunned and took a few steps back. Neji appeared, like a savior. Chapter 479 Gather. Tailed Chakra. Neji, what, you guy, it's already here. Kiba chuckled twice. It was originally just his fighting spirit against that guy, but now he is excited when he sees Neji. Choji, who was beside him, smiled originally, but the next moment, he was stunned. Like Kiba, the faces of everyone over there darkened. Because Neji was obviously different from his usual warm appearance. The current Neji has an indifference that has never been seen before. And this indifference is not the kind of calm indifference, but an abyss-like numbness. In the eyes, you can clearly feel the hatred and pain. Vent. Neji, what happened? Shikamaru was a little puzzled, and everyone had almost the same question. They all held their breaths and retracted the words they wanted to make fun of. And only Ino understands where all this comes from. She turned around helplessly and saw Yugito lying on the ground over there, while Sakura was healing her. Ino froze for a moment, and noticed something. The vitality is restored. Ino's perception of chakra is not as good as Karen's, because he has trained many times with Neji. His perception of vitality is very accurate. It looks like Neji did it. At this time, Shikamaru came over. Ino, what the hell is going on with Neji? Shikamaru asked. Ino murmured and explained. It should be that Neji saw that Yugito was taken away from the tailed beast, and he has the heart to defeat that guy named Uchiha Obito. Neji has never had such a purpose for people, it seems that this time, I really have the will to fight. Quote. Ino exhaled. Shikamaru was startled and asked, then, in this battle, if Neji is there? No, Ino said. In addition to her keen perception that Yugito was still alive just now, she also noticed another thing. What's wrong? It's still unknown here. We're going to help Neji fight. Because Neji is just Shadow Clone now. Shadow Clone. Shikamaru was surprised. Just Shadow Clone, can it do so much? In the past 2 years, how strong has Neji become? Where's the main body? Where did the main body go? I don't know, but... The face of Shikamaru's curiosity and doubts, Ino's heart seemed to fluctuate. But I know that Neji is already doing what he has to do. And Ino believed Neji's judgment that there must be something more important than this. Ino didn't stay by Neji's side for more than 2 years in vain, but in the end, the 2 years here, only 2 months there. But in such a long time, Ino's growth has far outperformed many of these people. Neji's judgment, for the overall situation, has never been wrong. Shoo. A twist, Obito slowly appeared. His face, there are wounds made by Yugito before, and on his body, there are bruises from the blows by Hinata's gentle fist. But even so, he moved with ease. He took a breath and said, "Seeing you guys reminds me of that time. Kakashi. Neji, you are very similar to Kakashi, but unlike him, you value your partners very much. In my opinion, you are much better than that guy Kakashi." Neji was just indifferent, ignoring Obito at all. For Neji, he doesn't care what kind of emotion Obito has at all, it has nothing to do with him. I really want to have a good fight with a guy like you, soon, very soon. But you have to make me happy, it seems like a good way to anger you. This is the first time I see you like this. What's the sub-expression? Obito is biting Kiba. Although he has despaired of this world, anyone who encounters an opponent like Neji will be excited, right? 8 trigrams vacuum palm. Go with a huge impact. Neji's face was already showing Yuhi-colored lines the moment he made his move. Obito didn't expect that Neji not only didn't want to pay attention to him, but also took the opportunity to shoot directly. Bang! Obito froze for a moment, watching vacuum palm pass through his body. He twitched the corner of his mouth and said, "What if you use Sage Art? Kamui's space can't be cracked by your Byakugan." He was startled, but the next moment, he felt a pain in his chest. PFF'd. A mouthful of blood spurted out. Over there, Kakashi's figure fell. "Sorry, it's been enough time for me to recover and I have to deal with you, but Neji released me on the battlefield ahead of time and went back to the headquarters to study your Sharingan. Of course, it has to play a role in dealing with you." Kakashi stood beside Neji, and Neji was taken aback. Kakashi asked, "Neji, have you noticed too, that guy has some strange chakra on his body, so the injuries caused by Hinata and Yugito's attacks have been recovering quickly?" Neji replied indifferently, "The first Hokage, Senju Hashirama's cells." "I see, it seems that I have to use my Mangekyo Sharingan and your Sage Art to deal with this guy." Kakashi put his hand on his forehead. Although chakra is often lacking, Kakashi, as Konoha's top pillar Jinchuriki column, is also a powerful fighting force. It goes without saying that the current situation is very bad for Obito. Obito also knew that and stepped back. "Your eyes. What a shame." He snorted coldly and fell into calm thought. Now that Kakashi has recovered his state, with just a few flaws, Kakashi can use Sharingan to go to different dimensions to attack him at any time, and Neji's Senpo, Sage Art and extremely ghostly movement are unavoidable. There is also a Rinnegan, which can't resist Neji's attack at all. The tactic of defeating one by one is still feasible, but if you have to fight 2 at a time, there is almost no chance of winning. He glanced over there and saw that the 6-tailed beasts were almost overwhelmed, especially the toads from Mount Myoboku who didn't know where they came from. There were actually 3 of them, and they no longer had a big advantage in size. "Enough, I won't play with you anymore." Obito jumped back and quickly hand seal. The art of necromancy Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. Bang! A huge plume of smoke billowed, and Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, roared to the ground, his feet on the ground, and the ground cracked. Neji looked up and saw that the hands of Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, had been inserted into Hashirama cells for perfect repair. I see. Has the injury at that time been recovered with Hashirama cells? Obito flew into the different space with two sounds of shoo shoo, and the next moment, he appeared on Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. Subsequently, he started the complex hand seal. Next, let you see the 10th-tailed beast. Ha! Obito opened the scroll in his hand, and inside was an 8-tailed octopus leg, as well as the 6 paths ninja tool and an amber bottle. Thrown into the mouth of Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. Even if it's incomplete 10 tails, it's more than enough to deal with these guys. Get Kakashi out of the way first, then things will be easy. Obito thought so. After all, as long as Kakashi was eliminated, he would be invincible with his own ninjutsu. The octopus has some 8-tailed chakras in its legs, and the golden horn silver horn sealed in the amber bottle has QB, 9 tails, chakras in its body. In this way, the tailed beast chakras are collected. A wicked look appeared in Obito's eyes. Shikamaru below looked at this behemoth, his brain was running fast, bit Kiba and muttered, damn. Gather all the tailed beast's chakra, in the end. What will happen? Chapter 480 Chain. Dangerous chakra. Give it up. Standing on Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, scorns the crowd. Obviously, the body is already full of scars, but the eyes at the moment seem to think that the victory is in hand. And Neji just jumped back, separated a little, and the expression on his face was still indifferent. This feeling. Obito narrowed his eyes, watching Neji in action. Why not use your best skills? You should be able to see the situation now. Hyuga Neji, you are a man who makes strange decisions every time. Obito doesn't care about anyone else now. Only the man who stood at the top of the Byakugan food chain did not dare to take it lightly. To say that he has only served 3 people in terms of pupil surgery in his life, the first is Uchiha Madara, the second is Uchiha Itachi, and the third is Neji. Even Nagato's pupil technique, he only felt that it was not as good as Madara's 1/3. The use of Obito here is not because the eyes are strong enough, but their use of pupil technique. Obito has accomplished many things with his time-space ninjutsu, but Madara and Itachi's understanding of Hitomitsu is far better than their own. Knowledge and understanding of Byakugan is a more difficult existence than ninjutsu and demonic illusion. Madara's ninjutsu, Itachi's demonic illusion, the threat at this moment should be no better than Neji's taijutsu. Just why keep holding it all the time? Now it's the most critical moment. Thinking about this, Obito suddenly thought of something and was startled. So it is. He opened his mouth slightly, looked at Neji in surprise, and stared at him with round eyes. After a long time, he showed an ironic smile and murmured, interesting, interesting. Hyuga Neji, I should have thought, you guys are always so steady and ruthless, but there is only one situation where you will let things involve your surprise, that is your shadow clone. The capacity of shadow clone is limited, so there is no way to break through itself and unleash the mysterious powerful power in your body, so you have to be cautious and reserved. Damn, I should have thought of that, it's really funny. Now that this battlefield is almost in my hands, you only let shadow clone stop me. Hyuga Neji, you are enough. Obito snorted coldly, shook his head, and glanced at the 6-tailed beasts on the edge of the battlefield. All have been almost subdued by the enemy. If that's the case, these beasts won't be of any use. Then it's better to use it for me. Obito quickly hand-sealed, frowning, to channel that guy, at least a full-tailed beast is required. If Hyuga Neji is just a shadow clone, I have nothing to worry about. At this moment, he burst out with all the chakra. In an instant, the audience felt the huge spiritual pressure that came from nowhere. Originally, he had kept chakra and waited for Neji to use his real strength as a safe haven policy. Unexpectedly, the other party also expected that he had reservations. In this case, he would desperately seize this opportunity and find the best opportunity. Now, Uchiha Madara hasn't felt the battlefield yet. Boom. Ow. Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, opened his mouth wide and let out a violent roar. Obito, what are you doing? Underneath, Kakashi had to listen to the command and retreat quickly, but he was concerned about his former teammates. And over there, Shikamaru urgently commanded, no matter what this guy is going to do, he must stop it next. That guy has the cells of the first generation of Hokage, ordinary attacks are meaningless, then defend first, and wait for me to analyze the enemy's weakness. Or if Neji finds a breakthrough, everyone will attack together. Shikamaru's first strategy was to retreat, finding an opportunity to fight back. Since the enemy is a monster with tailed beasts and Hashirama cells, then as a ninja coalition with limited consumption, a rational commander is indispensable. He looked at Obito in the hand seal, and couldn't help muttering to himself in a low voice, what the hell is that seal for? Sizzle. Thorn. Then, Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, opened his mouth wide and quickly pulled out 6 purple chains. Dangerous. That chakra. Over there, in the distant Six Tails battlefield, Naruto immediately felt something was wrong. Yeah, Naruto, especially for our Jinchuriki column force, that chakra with a seal in the chain, absolutely don't touch it. Killer Bee seemed to be very keenly aware of it. Uncle Bai, your perception ability is stronger than mine. Naruto blinked. Killer Bee explained, this is what the 8-tailed bull demon told me in my body. That guy is very familiar with this sealing technique. Thorn. Thorn. Wow. Everyone was shocked and evaded, but they saw that the huge chain was directly inserted into the body of the 6 tails who were fighting with them. Ooh. Seeing the 6-tailed rhino's ferocious expression, it seems to be very painful. Naruto couldn't help but wonder, is it wrong? Idiot, Killer Bee sighed. That guy has Mangekyo Sharingan and Rinnegan, how could he miss it? That guy seems to want to recycle the chakra of this tailed beast, and now, everyone, let me explain the situation to everyone. Shikamaru's voice suddenly sounded in everyone's mind. Huh. Naruto and Killer Bee were stunned and froze. Is it Ino? Naruto murmured. Yeah, my chakra is limited now. Please listen carefully to Shikamaru's strategy. The tailed beast battle is over. Now the enemy wants to use the tailed beast for the last time. The enemy must not succeed. Ino explained very clearly. After that, no one interrupted. After all, everyone knew that it was very difficult for Yamanaka Inoichi, the patriarch of the Yamanaka clan, to communicate with so many ninjas on the battlefield at one time. Not to mention just a 17-year-old girl ninja. Then, Shikamaru's voice spread through everyone's mind. Everyone, calm down now. First of all, congratulations to everyone who achieved good results in the battle against the tailed beasts. Naruto has been able to control Kyuubi, 9 Tails' chakra, right? Then use Shadow Clone to support each. The battlefield lacks chakra ninjas. The medical team is now in the center of the battlefield, please transfer the more urgent and serious wounded here. Quote. Then, Sakura's voice came, please take the transfer of the wounded as the most important thing. I will heal everyone. Sakura. Naruto grinned, and there seemed to be hope in his eyes. And Shikamaru continued. Everyone who can still fight, listen to me now. According to the location, I will assign the task. First of all, the enemy used this dangerous purple chain, the chakra with the seal technique. Neji's Byakugan has analyzed it, and Kakashi-sensei has also analyzed it, and they have communicated with me. The enemy should be trying to use this chain to kill the tail. The entity of the beast is sealed inside the body of Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. Quote. Although I don't know what his purpose is, but in order to achieve his purpose, the guy has weakened the power of the tailed beast. Thanks to this, everyone can control the current tailed beast. Now, that guy wants to recover all the tailed beasts. tailed beast, to create a bigger trouble than the tailed beast.